two brothers and gamers that have been playing games since the early 1980s. Combined, they have over 65 years experience. Join them each week as they discuss and rant about gaming and entertainment news. This is Generation X Gaming.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another week, another episode of Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week, and we rant along the way. I'm your host, 30 and Still Gaming, and joining me each and every single week is Sgt McClusky. What's going on, Sarge? Nice background.
Full cup of coffee this time.
Right? Full cup of coffee and a new background. I like it.
I don't know.
Sarge has moved up to the 20th century with a background now.
I didn't want to look at myself with a green screen. I wanted something back there, but I haven't found it.
398 episodes of a green screen behind you.
I am not.
399, 400. He found technology. He's got it.
I don't care. Sometimes I just don't care. There's other things to worry about. I just don't care about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, he's actually using the green screen. Isn't that amazing, Eclipse? So, Generation X Gaming is a weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories of the past week, and we rant along the way. We're here Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern, talking about video games. You can listen to us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Anchor.fm. If you like it, hit that like button. If you don't like it, hit that like button. If you'd like to go subscribe, and if you'd like to go above and beyond it, become a member as little as $5. On this channel, we do live streams, uploads, podcasts, gameplay. So a bunch of everything, right? Sarge, we're at the tip of the Summer Game Fest. Tomorrow is the official Summer Game Fest of 2024. I will be streaming live tomorrow evening. I know you work, but if you're able to stop in, you can.
What day is this?
Friday. Today's Thursday.
Friday?
Yeah, tomorrow Friday.
Tomorrow Friday?
Yeah, tomorrow
Not like
Friday.
next week Friday? Like
No,
tomorrow
like
Friday?
Tomorrow Friday. Yeah.
What time does it start?
I think it starts at 5 p.m.
Oh no, you're out.
Yeah. Well, if you come in, you can come in. And then Sunday, I don't know if you're available. Sunday at 5. No, I'm sorry, at 1. At 12:30, actually, I'm going live. And Sunday, because that's the Xbox showcase is happening at 1 o'clock. So.
All right. Well, on Sunday I'm supposed to be doing something. I think it's either playing with your son because he wanted to have a game of Minecraft or something.
Yeah, he asked me. I was like, no, I'm busy. I can't. Oh, hold on a second.
I mean, it's the summer for him. You know, he wants to play.
So we'll be doing a whole slew of stuff.
You remember when it was summertime and you're out of school, you get to do whatever you want. Like,
right now he's playing with his cousin. Yeah, right now they're playing Hyperbox Uncharged or Hypercharged Unbox right now together.
That's the action figure. The action figure thing?
Action figure game. Yeah, he's teaching him what to defend and play. And they're having a blast right now.
Good.
All right, chat. Let's get to what we've been playing. Sarge, I feel like the show is a daily show. It goes by so freaking fast. I feel like Thursday's every day, right? It goes by so fast. We should just do a daily show every day. Come on, just every morning we'll do an hour segment. You're in chat anyway. Let's just do a daily show every day.
Chat. I'm gonna run out of things to say. I need enough time to replenish enough of the chaos.
There's plenty to say. There's plenty to say every single day. Another week down. What have you been playing, Sarge? Anything new? Anything exciting?
All right, don't anyone even start. You know the box isn't open yet.
Someone already started. Someone already asked it earlier in chat. Did you play Baldur's Gate 3?
Don't bother. Listen, I'll be very honest with you guys. The last week, all I've been doing is watching the markets, right? That's all I've been doing. I've played a little bit of things to calm me down. Like, I was playing Kingdom 2 Crowns. I know it's an old-ass game, but it calms me down. I was playing some Fallout 4. I played a little bit of Spice Wars. But for the majority of the week, honest to God, I've been watching the market. I've been watching a couple things here, and Sarge is having a good week.
I guess the market could be games that you've been playing.
I mean, you can call the market a game, I guess.
Yeah, sure. Sure.
There's a lot of microtransactions
And
inside this game.
and we could talk about it because it's part of a gaming thing. GameStop is going off the rails again.
I mean, the kid's a genius.
The kid's a billionaire. He surpassed a millionaire.
No, he's almost a billion. Not yet.
Well, no, but he passed a millionaire. Went past 100 millionaire.
Resistance,
and he's close to being a billionaire.
Resistance right now was $67, right? If the price of GameStop goes to $69, the positions that kid has makes him a billionaire.
That's crazy. Off GameStop.
Yeah.
That's the funny part. That is the irony of the whole thing. Off GameStop.
Yeah, but I think what's going to he's talking tomorrow at noon. I'm not sure what's going to happen between 9 o'clock and noon, but the market's going to go insane. Then he's going to talk, and then after he's done talking, from noon to 4 when the market closes, right? You have to understand briefly what's happening. So right now, the short guys are having a problem. Right?
Yeah, they're having a big problem.
The higher the stock goes, they have to get their position. But what I think is really happening is he's got enough positions, and his positions are public, by the way. You can look them up. They're not private. He posted them on purpose. He has 120,000 option calls, right? Which means that at any moment he can just start calling in options for $30 stocks. The price is at $56 now. That means the market's got to find shares for him at $30. Which they don't have. Right? So what's going to end up happening is that the shorters are going to take a bath, and this kid's going to be a billionaire, and he's going to do a mic drop and walk off into the sunset, and the market's going to be on fire. It's going to be biblical tomorrow.
What was the movie that they made for him?
D-Day was today, but G-Day is tomorrow.
What movie was it called that they did with him?
Dumb Money.
Dumb Money. That's what it is.
Dumb Money. Kids, if you're not following stocks, you're not following Roaring Kitty, I suggest after this show's over, you just look up Roaring Kitty and look up this kid.
Krebsy says NVIDIA is still on the rocket. Yeah, NVIDIA is about to split.
Yeah. By the way, if anybody, once again, I'll say it out loud, not stock
advice. Not stocks. No advice here whatsoever.
Advice, okay? For those of you that don't have $1,200 to buy an NVIDIA stock, we all understand. Nobody's got $1,200 just lying around, right? Especially in this chat room, right? However, when the price splits tomorrow and it goes down to $120 a share, please make sure that you guys buy a couple shares for yourselves and put them on the shelf in the corner. When the stock gets to be built up again, you have some money on the side in case. Be smart.
Yeah, instead of pre-ordering the next Ubisoft game, take that $130 and put it towards stock. There you go.
Just buy a share.
Buy one share. Buy a share for yourself. Yeah. All right. So, any games you tried out? Any games that you played besides the stock market? No.
New games. I always try new stuff on games.
On Game Pass.
GameStop.
Yeah, you got GameStop on the brain. I got you.
Well, Game Pass, GameStop is a problem now, right? So, Game Pass. There's a couple games in there I kind of tried, but they didn't really hook me. So not going to say anything about them until I find something that hooks me.
I went back to Brotato. I started playing Brotato again a little bit.
I maxed out all the question marks at the bottom, like how you're supposed to open up all those things.
All the different guys and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I only have about a half done.
That was like the goal. I unlocked them all.
That's what I'm trying to do right now. Like I'm playing it. I periodically just turn it on and play like a round or two.
Yeah, Magic Dolphin. According to the news, NVIDIA stock splits tomorrow.
So I played a little bit of Hypercharge Unboxed, which is a game that came out.
I thought it was cool. You were making me crazy when I was watching you play it, though. I was like, "What is he doing? Look behind the garage. Look behind the boxes. Jump in the box.
To find stuff.
I was screaming at the screen.
Let me bring up my.
I was screaming at the screen. I'm like, bro, how do you not remember how to play a game like this?
I do, but I'm playing it where I'm also defending and stuff like that. So I find a lot of the stuff. It's just that I take my time.
You have to, after the initial build phase, have to find the card packs to give you the extra bonus.
Yeah, they pop up. They pop up randomly throughout the.
But you have to run around and find out where they are.
Here, let me bring up the footage of this game. I liked it a lot. I played the demo last year sometime on PC, and then it came out. It came out on Xbox, And it's just a fun game, man. It's literally your childhood, your childhood of when you thought you were playing GI Joe and your toys on the ground and in the hallway in the bathroom, and that's basically it. They came to life. There's like a small little story. It does a comic book story, like a comic book actual story, which I've been asking for from a actual comic book game, right? So it's a fun little game. There's different boards. I was in the hallway there. You're on an air hockey table. There's another like you're in a garage. You're on the different shelves.
PC or console?
It's on PC and console.
So is it a demo?
No, it's out. It's out now. It's $30. You can buy the game. I bought it on Xbox. I was like supporting them, and they're a small team. It's like 5 or 6 people that made this game. One guy actually said he used to be a painter. Like he used to be a person that did painting houses and stuff like that. And he quit his job, and now he did this, and he's made this game, and it's more successful than they ever thought. And we're not talking millions of copies here, right? We're talking they just surpassed 50,000, 60,000 copies, I think they posted.
For a small team.
Right. 5, 6 people making the team, and they're living the dream right now, right? They're making a game. They made a game. They sold the game. And what's beautiful about...
You said 55,000?
I think it's 50,000, 50 or 60,000, I think they just said. Yeah, Salty said they sold 50,000. I watched him cry on Twitter. There you go.
$30, 1.6 mil.
Yeah, so that's life changing for those 5, 6 guys, right? 5, 6 people that are right. So they have there's no microtransactions in this game. No microtransactions. You can buy a DLC which does like extra characters or packs or whatever, but there's once you have the game, okay. Everything in the game you unlock by playing the game. So there's lots of different things to find and hide and find different like Easter eggs and different things. There's a checklist. There's a whole. It's amazing. It's amazing because it's not what normal is anymore, right? What should be normal is an outlier, and this game is an outlier because it is just what it is. It's just a fun little.
It's a game.
Yeah, it's a game. It's everything we always say when we say make a game, sell a game. That's what they did. They made a game. They sold a game. It came out back on PC a couple years ago. It sold pretty decent there, but it's blowing up for them on. They sold way more on Xbox than they sold on PC. So
I wonder why.
Yeah, so it's really cool seeing it's really cool seeing that the small developers like this. Now, obviously, it's not as big as Pal World and it's not as big as Helldivers, but
it's big for them.
Yeah, for 5, 6 guys making a game. Yeah. So this is called Hypercharged Unbox. It's a really, really fun game. If you like, I bought it in the mindset of I was like, oh, my son would love this. I was like, I bought it, and right now he's literally playing it with his cousin. They're playing the game together. It's couch co-op. Okay, it's split screen. Okay, you can play up to 4 players. Okay, it's got a versus mode. It can play against just single player campaign. You can play a versus campaign. You can do matchmaking with other people that are doing the campaign missions. You can do versus and have like your old school like Halo matches. Like it's free for all, King of the Hill, team deathmatch. There's a bunch of different things. They were having issues the other day with logging in or trying to get into servers.
As all games do.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that it's fixed now. So people they did a patch or whatever. So there's lots of different options in this game. You can even do free roam, where if you're looking for things to find to see where like the secrets are, and you don't want to be under attack, you can just go do that board in free form, and then just go around and explore the board and stuff like that. Really cool. They have the action figures, the boxes and stuff. I think I show it in the beginning of the.
Can you change how your action figure looks?
Yeah. So in the very beginning, you can see that the box, it looks like the action figure box. You can change the type of character, the head, the skin, the weapon, the packaging, the buildables that you're on your wrist that you can do. You can generate your name, your avatar, and stuff like that. It's really cool. It's a fun little game. It's not like earth-shattering, changing AAA game, but it's just a fun game, right? And I like playing games like this and be able to play it and show people other games that are not the Battlefronts or not the Battlefields and stuff like that. So it's a fun game. I started playing that, and it'll be in the rotation as we go through, because I want to unlock the stuff, and that's the thing, right? It's not trying to complete a battle pass. It's literally going to that first board and seeing if I can collect all the coins, or going to see if I can collect all the aliens, or one of the first boards, the tutorial, it has these cut prices, like sale prices on the shelves, and you have to shoot all of them, and you get a hidden item or whatever, right? If you watch the credits, you get something, right? So if you watch all through the credits, you get an item as well. So there's like little,
that's hard.
Right. No one ever does that.
Because everyone's
right?
pressing skip.
Yeah, skip. No, you actually have to watch the credits.
Imagine if you watched all the credits and you get a super OP weapon, and the game's out for a year and no one's found it yet.
Well, you don't get an OP weapon. You just get cosmetic. It's a head that you get.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, I agree.
That's a good way to put the OP weapon behind the credits.
Yeah, for sure, Salty. It definitely reminds me of like Small Soldier and stuff like that. If you look at this is cool as well. Here, look, they has the things I haven't unlocked yet, but they have little dioramas of the toys. And I did this on stream.
I've identified them all.
Yeah, at the end of the stream, I kind of went over them and I show you. And you can see certain things are G.I. Joe or something. The labels are like GoBots and some are Transformers. And you came out of left field with that dinosaur, right? Dino Rider. I was like, that's it. Like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, but they're called hypercharged Ninja Joe, right?
All they did is just crisscross all the names from the toys from back in the day, and they got the new names. That's all they did.
Yeah. This is
the scary part is all the logos that I saw. I can identify
every single
logo
one
and tell you what toy it went to, even though it's not matched up with the right one. I know the logos.
Right. So it's a fun little game. Check it out. It's called Hyperbox Uncharge, or Hypercharge Unbox. Sorry,
if it's fun, I might buy it because I used to buy the Army Men game.
So the Army Men attack you in this, right? So there's a wave of Army Men that attack you, and they have the little plastic tanks that come after you, and they have the big bomber that goes ahead, and they parachute out of it. It's just fun, man. It's just a fun time with the game. So check it out if you like games like that and you want to support a small developer.
I want to shoot My Little Pony so bad though.
You can shoot My Little Ponies.
And they purposely made it one of the most annoying pieces.
Yeah,
he's not a little
flying on a cloud. Yeah,
around.
Yeah.
Would you want to kill it so bad?
They do a really good job. Another game I've been playing. We play Battlefront 2 on Wednesdays. We play the Star Wars Battlefront 2. That's a fun time as well. I really like that game. I've been playing a little bit of Deep Rock Galactic Survivor, the Vampire Survivor-esque version of Deep Rock Galactic. That's a fun game. I'm playing Fallout 76 still. There are new seasons coming out. I'm just kind of going through, still playing. I've been playing Multiverses, and Multiverses, we'll get to that a little bit later, what they're doing with Multiverses. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of different little games. Oh, I've been playing again Empire at War. I log on, do one match, one mission, and then I log out. I'm not playing like hours and hours on time of this. And yeah, so that's basically all I've been playing this week. The big one was Hypercharge Unbox. It's a fun game. All right, let's go to the top stories. All right, we have a massive storm. It's torrential downpour right now outside my window. So we might lose connection or something. Just to give you
no surprise.
Just a normal Thursday evening. All right, so one of the stories I want to talk about. Let's just get out of the way. We talk about multiverses. I talked about multiverses earlier on today's show. I did the same story. So if you watched that earlier today, you'll know what I'm talking about it. But if you didn't, we're going to talk about it right now, right? So Multiverses, they just did an update. They're fixing the game, which is fine. Go ahead and fix your game. That game that should have been fixed before it came out because it was in beta for 1 year. And then it went off the air for 1 year, and then it came back in beta 2.0 because they put it in Unreal Engine 5, and now they're trying to fix the bugs and glitches and stuff in Unreal Engine 5 instead of Unreal Engine 4. Okay. One of the stories here that we're going to talk about is called Multiverses Patronizes Losers by Making Them Fight Bots. Okay. Now, one of the things that they had in Multiverses, Sarge, I know you don't know this because you didn't play, but in the beta, they had a game mode where obviously you played 1v1, 2v2, free-for-all, and that was against other people. Okay. But they also had a game mode where you could play against just the bots, right? And as you played the bots, you would do your dailies and stuff like knock someone out, use this type of person, use this thing, right? And you would just play the game on your own. You don't want to sweat. You just want to do your own thing. And it was a PvE-esque type of thing. Well, they got rid of that game mode. They got rid of free for all that they're actually said they're going to add back in later, and they put in a rift mode, which is a PvE mode, but you're doing the same thing over and over and over again on this different type of battle pass type of thing, right? Today they did implement that if you play PvP matches now, you do get small XP to go towards the battle pass. So congratulations for doing that. But what's happening in the game right now, Sarge? When you go up against, if I go up against you in multiverses and I lose, and then I lose again, and then I lose again, what happens then, obviously if I'm not playing a friend, just matchmaking, it puts you in to sort of like a bot jail, okay? It puts you in a PvE against bots where you're fighting to make you feel better about yourself because you were losing so many times that it puts you in a room full of bots so then you can feel better about yourself by actually winning, okay? And someone says, so players have reported that Multiverse's subreddit instances is getting paired up against bots after losing too many matches. But as more players are trying out the game and criticism is starting to gain steam, Reddit user Lion Snuggles 69 says that he spent hours in bot jail, unable to play against real people after doing team rounds with a friend who was new to Multiverses. This has got the most patronizing thing he's ever experienced in a game, they wrote. He says, I have over 200 hours in the game, and my main isn't strong in the meta, but I love playing them. Unfortunately, this is now means that I get to be robbed of the experience of playing with the community and such a fan of this game, and I want to believe in it despite everything else, right? And my issue with this, Sarge, is let me opt in to play with bots. Don't force me to play with bots, right? Like, I personally would rather play against bots because I just want to log on, do my dailies, do my stuff, go up the battle pass for that day, log out, and move on with my day, right? I don't have a lot of time to play video games. When I do play video games, I want to have purpose. I want to respect my time, okay? I don't want to sit in 10, 15, 20 matches trying to get 3 knockouts or whatever against people, and then it kick me into a bot match. You know what I mean? Like, just let me go against the bots. Like, why are you putting me against bots when you took the game mode out?
I know why.
Right, go ahead.
I know why. You have to remember everything that they do now. Everything they do now is got something to do with gathering data on the player.
Sure.
Right? So even though this particular game might not have the options I'm about to speak with, those options are connected to what is happening in the game. So if
the structure of the game.
If you are bad at a match because maybe you don't know how to play, or maybe you're not good with the weapons, or whatever the reason is, you're too drunk, you start playing one night, you just
whatever.
Sucking up. You're just playing, right? The reason why they put you in a room with bots is to, number one, see how you react, see how you play different, see if you get better. And then at that point, after months and months of you playing, then they understand what it is you go for, what guns you play with. Do you like the shotgun? Do you like the rifle? Do you like this? Right? And because you're killing guys with guns and they see the stats for everything. So then later on, they'll advertise things that you like to you for a fee, right?
Well,
that's the whole game. It's not about, like I've said it every week. It's not about the games anymore.
Yeah.
It's about how much money I can extract from you. And the fact that you even said that they pulled that out of the game.
And they pulled you where you can fight against just rounds against,
Right. But they have it in there as a safety valve for people who don't feel well about themselves.
Well, they do it sneakingly, though. It's not even like they're telling you they're putting you against bots. People figured out they're going up against bots. Okay, and you can literally tell
somebody who's sucking for an hour doesn't all of a sudden become Jesus.
Well, no, you can tell what. Know. Yeah, but you could tell the way the bot fights compared to a human, right? Right, a human. When you fight a human, no one sits still for 5 seconds. Okay, like no one just like that doesn't happen when you play against a person.
Waiting
right?
to shoot me in the head.
They're doing this, right? They're jumping up and down. They're doing all this stuff, right?
Or they're spinning.
Right. They're doing something so you can tell who you're playing. Paul asks in chat. He says, "Do bots have the paid for skins?" Now, I can't tell you because I don't play a lot of PvP in the game, but I do play the rifts, and the rifts is the PvE. And in the rifts, you do go up against things. So if you go up against Jason in the new thing that opened up, the rift that opened up. Certain characters wear the Jason mask, which is a thing that you have to purchase in the store down the line. There is things in, like, for instance, I forget if you're playing against Joker, if it's a Velma, but one of the missions in the Rift is that you go up against Superman and Wonder Woman, but they're not Superman and Wonder Woman. They have the Green Lantern black Green Lantern skins on. So one looks like Bizarro. He's like Superman, but corrupted Superman. And one is corrupted Wonder Woman. And they're showing you those skins as you go up against them. So 100%, Paul, they're definitely doing that. Another thing they do, which is also scummy in my opinion, a lot of people like the game, and cool, if you like the game, you like the game, but I'm still going to point out the scummy behaviors behind it. So in one of the things is that you need a graphic tee to complete one of the Rift missions, okay? Now, you do get a free graphic tee, which is with Velma. Velma, if you use Velma, Velma is a free character in the game. So you start with Velma, okay? So they give you a free Velma graphic tee, which gives you one. But in one of the other things, if you want to complete one of the other dots in the card, it says you have to use like a DC character, but the requirement is graphic tee. So that means now you have to either go buy Batman graphic tee, or you got to go buy Wonder Woman graphic tee, okay? Or you got to use Joker with the graphic tee. And the problem with that is it's $5, okay? 500 Gleamium, I should say, okay? Well, if I buy $5 worth of Gleamium from the store, it gives me 450 Gleamium, which is 50 Gleamium less than what the t-shirt costs. So then I have to buy a $10 minimum to then spend to get the graphic tee, just so I can continue to complete. Because the completionist in yourself is like, there's that one dot. I need to complete that dot. And then people would buy it. And that's what they do. So that's a little scummy to me. It's got dark patterns in the game. It's got just tendencies that are bad. And they have to change that. They should change it. But whatever. Another thing they're doing, Sarge, with Multiverses is that characters were locked behind paywalls. Okay, so you couldn't test out a character before you bought it. So you had to buy, and they fixed that. So kudos to them. Now there's a training area where you can try all the characters out. And if you like the character, then you know what the character plays like, and then you can go purchase it. Cool. Bad part about this is that it's still pay to basically pay to play or pay to win, whatever you want to call it. And the problem with this is if you pay for a character, let's say someone bought the giant robot. The giant robot was OP. He was broke. Someone could have bought it because it was OP, and they bought it, and now they took him out of the game, and they nerfed him. Okay, so now if you're a person that goes, oh, I'm getting my ass beat by giant robot, I want to buy giant robot, and you buy giant robot, and then giant robot is now being nerfed to the ground, you no longer want to play giant robot because giant robot is now nerfed to the ground, right? And this is why I said in the very beginning, before the game even came out, that they should put the characters out for free for everybody, and then you can unlock them. Like, you could still unlock them, but don't put them behind a paywall. But that's another thing that's shady with the game, in my own opinion, right? Again, I'm not one of these people that makes a channel based off of this. And if you like the game, you like the game. I'm just pointing out the problems with the game. You can like a game and love a game, but I'm just giving criticism where criticism is earned. And these are things that need to switch in the game, right? One, put the PvE back in the game to just play against bots on my own choice, not because I suck at PvP, right? Two, don't lock characters behind things and then nerf them to the ground, okay, when a certain point of people buy that character, and then you're like, oh, well, it's getting too OP, and people are complaining about it.
But we already made their money off those people, so we can just move on to something else.
We can just move on to something else, right? Nerf this one comes up, right? So Krebsy says, easy solution, have your bot fight the bot. Well, there you go. Yeah, that's an easy solution. Right, so it's just an issue with the game, but yeah, so that's Multiverses in a nutshell. It's right now it's super popular. A lot of good healthy community playing the game right now. Okay, over 100,000, 200,000 people are playing the game, but at the same time, you know, they're it's almost like they're sabotaging their own success at this point. Okay, and I don't know why WB has massive problems. Speaking of WB. Okay, let's talk about the other problem. Let me bring up, yeah, here it is. Okay, speaking of WB, Jason Schreier came out with an article today about Suicide Squad. I'm not going to go over that article. I'm just saying that he came out with an article, Bloomberg, goes into the details of what's happening with Warner Brothers and why Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League had problems. Basically, in a nutshell, upper management and the higher ups wanted to make a game because, you know, they wanted to make billions of dollars and they wanted to be successful, but they didn't put the game in the game. They put the microtransactions in the game first, and what it didn't make sense, right? So they wanted to make a melee combat stuff, right? But you can't sell melee, Sarge. How am I going to sell you fists Okay, so
they tried. It was done in Avengers.
Well, yeah, but they put the exoskeleton thing around like Hulk and stuff like that.
The Hulk had a fist thing upgrade, right?
Yeah. So they couldn't sell you fists and stuff like that, so they had to sell you guns, and this is why they put the guns in the thing. And then the two guys that were the leads, Hill and I forget the Schaefer, they left to go start their own company that we talked about last week. Okay, but in this article they talk about how they kind of were pushing people to do certain things, and then they didn't really want to do the thing, and then they kept changing the thing, and then they left right before it launched. They're like, "Oh, we're out. We're gonna go do something else." And then they started trying to pick people from Rocksteady Studios to go over to their new studio. Okay, sure. So the article seems like it shows that those guys kind of threw everyone else underneath the bus. And then the company itself just didn't know, upper management didn't know what they wanted for the game story-wise, and they kept changing stuff.
Oh no, they knew exactly what they wanted. They wanted a textbook map of how to make a live service game so they can get a bunch of money to make themselves look good.
Yeah.
But not anything about how to make a good quality video game.
One of the things was they wanted to put cars in the game, okay? Like have vehicles with different abilities and stuff, which you can sort of see still left in the game, because there is a mission where you have Gizmo in the game where he gives you a car, and in certain missions you don't have to upgrade anything with that, but you do upgrade Gizmo to give you more features with the gun or the car. But can you imagine that they were thinking about that instead of traversing around the world like it is now? They were going to give them cars and motorcycles, and you would upgrade your cars and upgrade your motorcycles and stuff like that. But then they scrapped that because it didn't fit the monetization, probably, right? I'm ad-libbing there. I don't know if that's what they're doing, but I'm assuming that's why, right? So that's that. Now, Warner Brothers is just getting shit on left and right, okay? So Warner Brothers here on the next story, Wonder Woman, okay? Wonder Woman's having issues, right? Monolith Wonder Woman game in development trouble reported, okay? Monolith Productions Wonder Woman game might be a long way from release if they have a report of anything go by. The title, in which they announced it in December of 2021, is reportedly going through development troubles, something fans have come to expect from the publisher WB Games. Now, Wonder Woman is a single-player game. Aforementioned reported comes from Kinda Funny Games' Greg Miller discussing that the upcoming Summer Game Fest during an episode of Kinda Funny Gamecast, the team was speculating that it also see at the event at one point Wonder Woman was brought up in a response in which Miller said that they heard that the insider of the project was in development trouble and he doesn't think it will see anytime soon. He says he hasn't seen any or heard anything from Wonder Woman since the announcement. However, WB Games did break silence in November of 2023 to confirm that it won't be a live service experience. A job advert gave birth to speculations about the Wonder Woman will follow the footsteps of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, but the WB Games insists that it won't. Now, Wonder Woman is a single-player action-adventure game in a dynamic open world. WB Games said at the time that the third-person experience will allow players to become Diana and introduce the original story of the DC Universe while also featuring the Nemesis system, and Wonder Woman is not about being designed as a live service game. So there is that, but there's also one more. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, so reports is there's a job posting, if I can find it here. I can't find it. But there's a job posting for Wonder Woman. Okay, a lead designer, which is never good, right? Like you're like 3-4 years into the making of the game, and all of a sudden, like a lead position opens up. Like, not to say that the cards is falling, the house of cards is falling, but when you have a lead designer, now obviously maybe they moved or God forbid something bad happened to the family.
Maybe he's just done what he was supposed to do.
Right? Maybe it's a lead, meaning you're there till the end. Okay, so when a lead designer leaves, or a lead engineer, or lead whatever, that's always bad news when it happens, right? So obviously, I always talk about how movie studios make like 10 movies, 3 make money, 1's a blockbuster, right? Warner Brothers right now is shooting left and right. Now, they did have their hit, right? Hogwarts Legacy was a Warner Brothers game, and that was a massive, extravagant hit for them. 23 million copies sold, okay? For Hogwarts Legacy, and they're coming out with the director's cut. They announced that there's a director's cut in that article with Jason Schreier. He said that Rocksteady, okay, and the people that made Hogwarts are all hands on deck making the Hogwarts Legacy director's cut, whatever that means. Okay, I don't know what that means, but they're working on it together, and they're trying to get it out the door as fast as possible.
Right, capitalizing. Well, I'm sorry. So what you just said is they're rushing through it ASAP to get to sell a game that's half-assed. That's what
Well, not even half-assed. I don't know what the director's cut means. For the game came out last year.
Nobody does.
Usually, a director's cut means you're adding all the DLC or all the other stuff to it, right?
Yeah.
There is no other stuff. It just came out.
That's correct.
So it's interesting to see what the director's cut would be.
Enough time hasn't passed for you to have a director's cut,
right?
No, so they're just.
It's
so
a director's
excited.
cut of the director's cut.
They're petting the rabbit. They're like, we have to make another game quickly before all the popularity runs out of this game. We need to milk it. We can't make anything else right now, so we need to make sure Hogwarts is our baby.
Well, what's happening right now, and I don't know what to I'm going to speak of this, right? So people are running with that Rocksteady is getting closed down. Rumors that WB is getting rid of Rocksteady. Okay, Miller came out and on top of the Jason Schreier piece, he came out and said his piece about what he knows behind the scenes. He says that they're taking season 5 and condensing it into the 4 seasons. Okay, he thinks that they're still going to come out with the 4 seasons. They're still coming out. There's no proof as of right now that Rocksteady is being closed down in any way, shape, or form. But people are starting to run with this and saying that they are getting closed down. But inside Jason Schreier's interview, nothing is said at all about him because he would say it. He would say that he hears murmurs or something. He doesn't say anything about knowing or hearing about the studio closing or it's in dire need of closing, right? So they are talking once again that Rocksteady is going back to their next game, which is going to be a single-player game, is what they did say in the article as well. So I just think it's weird, right? Like, when there's smoke, there's fire, and there's a lot of fire going on in WB right now. Between Suicide Squad, now you're hearing problems with WB. I'm sure there's another game that they're coming out with that has issues. Gotham Knights had issues when it came out.
Here's my theory. They believe that they need X, Y, and Z in order to come up with a live service that'll make them $1 billion.
Yeah, they're all looking for that.
My belief is these game companies are bloated, right? We are watching guys who can make games with 20-person teams,
5 people,
10-person
6
teams,
people,
right? And the game is successful on their level. You can't always have this AAA title make $1 billion. It's not happening. And so they constantly are bloated. They have too many people working on a game that they can't collect enough money off of. And lo and behold, we have to fire these people and we have to start over again. It's a nonsensical circle. But apparently the goose that laid the golden egg is so important that they're willing to repeat the process, not once, not twice, but multiple times in a 3-year span, destroying and rebuilding teams, trying to get the next live service that works because the money is just too good.
Yeah. They're trying to make money. They're trying to make all the money, not just money. They're trying to make all the money. Here's some things that we're going to talk about Sony a bit here, right? So I said, if JC's here, let me know because I might owe him an apology because over the last couple days, JC said that at Summer Game Fest he was hoping that that Spider-Man DLC will be shown, and I said I don't think it's going to be shown because they just had their state of play, right? And I was like, why wouldn't they just show it at the state of play? Okay, now people are saying, well, there's more eyes on Summer Game Fest and whatnot, and I'm like, all right, cool, we'll go with that. Okay, now there's a rumor right now that there's a Lego Horizon Adventure, which is a Lego themed game that's coming out. And here, I'll bring that up. Right, that's coming out, and so Lego Horizon Adventure to be announced at Summer Game Fest. So I like the Lego games. Right now, I haven't played the series myself. I own the first one, have never played it. I haven't got the second one, and they're coming out with Horizon now. I think this is a smart move by PlayStation. Okay, let me be clear by this because the younger crew. The younger folks out there like the Lego games, and they might not know who this is. My son actually came in as I was finding the story, and he goes, "What is that?" And I said, "Oh, it's a game from PlayStation that they're making into a Lego game." He goes, "Oh, so it's like Lego Fortnite." I said, "No, it's a separate IP that they own that Lego is now making into their own game. So like you played Star Wars, you know the Star Wars story. This would be that version, but with Lego." And he's like, "Oh, okay." He's like, I might play it, and that's exactly it, right? Get the younger crew, younger people fans of the actual game to come out, because I'll be honest, some of my favorite games are made by the Lego, like TNT, right? Like TT Games does a phenomenal job with these games. My Lego Marvel, Lego Star Wars, Lego Harry Potter, Indiana Jones, Batman, it goes on and on and on. They make good games. And now you have Lego Fortnite, obviously, so it gets muddy, blurs the line. But they didn't show this at the State of Play last week, okay? They didn't show this last week either with Horizon, Lego Horizon. They got Horizon Zero Dawn Remake supposedly there, and they had the DLC, or it could be a standalone game, of Spider-Man Carnage, okay, supposedly in the works or coming out this year. DLC, standalone game. I don't know. I'm just showing you a picture, okay? Now, I said, why wouldn't they just do the State of Play this week? Like, Sony decided to go a week early, show Concord and Astro Boy, which Dave Rose was correct 100% last week. He said they'll bookend it. He said that he thought it was going to be Astro Boy and Concord, but they reversed it. It's Concord and Astro Boy. But he was absolutely right. They bookended it with first-party titles, okay? And I thought that was good. But now all this stuff's coming out, and I'm like, well, why would you not show this at State of Play? Oh, was it Dave Langer? Dave Langer, sorry. I thought it was Dave Rose. My apologies. Okay? Lots of Daves. Okay? So why, Sarge, why would you not, one, show, and don't jump ahead of me because we talked a little bit about why, but why wouldn't they show it at State of Play and wait to show it at Summer Game? Actually, you know what? I should probably talk about the Summer Game Fest part before you say what you say, because I know you're going to ruin it anyway, right? So Summer Game Fest charges a lot of money.
I haven't said anything.
I know, but you already know it. So they charge a lot of money for advertisement there, and that you're going to run into that because that's what you're going to say. You're going to say something along the lines. So they have these games that they didn't show at State of Play. Why do you think they didn't show them at State of Play? Why do you think they're waiting for Summer Game Fest? And why did they just take State of Play and move it to this weekend with everybody else?
I mean, besides what you just said, which I was going to say, I think maybe that it's always good to have something else in the back pocket, because the people that watch the first thing will not have to tune in again to watch the second thing. You know what I mean? Because you left that part out. That's part of it. Number two, it could be a contract with Keighley Fest. Like, what things do you want to show? And if we're being charged per whatever trailer we show, I want to show. I think there's more people watching Keighley Fest. I don't mean this in a bad way.
Yeah, absolutely.
More people are watching Keighley Fest than just watching the PlayStation thing.
Sure.
The PlayStation thing is only the PlayStation people, whereas the rest of the gaming community is also watching Game Fest. You get a lot more eyeballs on, so people might be interested in picking up a PlayStation to play the new games. So it's several factors. I would think those are two of them, and I also think because it's eyeballs. Right? You want to have more eyeballs.
Now, I get the eyeball thing, right? I get the eyeball thing. I get the advertisement thing. But as I just had it up, right, the trailers during Summer Game Fest, reportedly, right? This is from Insider Gaming. They say that trailers during Summer Game Fest cost $250,000 for 1 minute. It's claimed. Okay, it says the outlet says, according to multiple market professionals, the Summer Game Fest main show will cost $250,000 for 1 minute, $350,000 for 1.5 minutes, $450,000 for 2 minutes, and $550,000 for 2.5 minutes, with the price allegedly being in line with last year's edition of the Game Awards. Now, if you add that up, 1 to 2.5 minute trailers aired during last year's thing. They don't tell us the total, but they made about $9.65 million off of the trailers they made during the show. Now, obviously, it's a business thing. Keighley's in it to make money and whatnot. But here's my mindset. This is what I don't understand. The State of Play was last week. It cost them nothing besides the production of costing it, right? They just put it up on their YouTube channel and they show it, right? So in the old days when E3 was around, there was E3's main event and the big guys showed up. Nintendo, Sony, and Xbox, right? And they showed their stuff. And then throughout the week, everyone was like, oh, we see the games. They announced the games and they showed the games. The last couple of years, Sony was like, yeah, we're not doing that. We're not going to... And E3's done, right? It's gone. And Summer Game Fest is taken over, and it has lots and lots of eyeballs, and obviously they're charging money for those spots. You had your own State of Play. You could have just moved it to this weekend, right? Like, Xbox is doing it on Sunday. You could have done it on Sunday. You could have done it on Saturday. You could have done it Friday night after the... You could have done it anytime this weekend, and it doesn't anything off their back because it was a pre-taped thing. You could just show it during the actual, like this weekend, even though Summer Game Fest is tomorrow, the whole thing is this weekend, right? Like the whole kit and caboodle is this weekend. So it's like, why not show it this weekend with everybody else? And why then pay, if you're going to show, if they are going to announce this at Summer Game Fest, Horizon, both the remake and the Lego thing, and maybe the trailer for Spider-Man, you're spending what? Almost $1 million, $750,000 if it's a minute. And if you do a minute and a half, now you're talking, in 2 minutes, now you're talking over $1 million to show something you could have just done on your own. Like, you got to know, if you're Sony, that if we announce a DLC for Spider-Man, it doesn't matter if I go to Keighley's Game Fest or not. If I say the DLC is coming out, the word of mouth is going to spread, and people are going to make 1,000 channels talking about the DLC of Spider-Man and how psyched they are.
All right, well, I'll go dark on this one. Right? So, what if? I mean, we already know that the game companies knew that going to E3 was just expensive, and then you were just throwing money away to advertise for games when you could do it online, right?
Right.
They want to save money, right? So now here's the dark side of that. So what if Keighley has enough pull in the industry that he makes phone calls and he contacts a lot of different journalists, okay, from different magazines, newspapers, whatever else, and says, look, I'm trying to put this together. I want to try to keep the games in the limelight of a game fest. Even though we got rid of E3, we won't charge them as much money as E3 does, but we have to have a show like this. This is what the kids want, the thing that they wanted, right? But they knew they couldn't afford E3 prices. So now Keighley uses that as leverage and says, listen, if you guys don't give us the attention and let us advertise for you, give you a podium for which to you guys to advertise, then these guys aren't going to side with you. These guys are going to be writing articles about you.
Sure.
Right?
I mean,
so I'm being dirty about this.
No, I hear you.
But if a business stops going to E3, the biggest electronic entertainment thing of the world, to advertise for video games, because that became too expensive, and all of a sudden you're bowing to Keighley for what reason, I don't know. Where, as you just said, we could have our own show, not a problem.
You could leak it right now, and the internet would explode. You could leak it right now and not pay $250,000 and get the same exact.
But that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the business would not do it unless there's a reason. And I think Keighley knows enough people in the industry. He's been around a while, where he exerts a little bit of leverage that has to let them come on and let them pay for that show. I'm telling you.
I mean, I get it.
Otherwise, why else would you do it?
That's the only thing I can think of. What you just said is that Keighley said, "Hey, Sony, give us." Again, they don't even know if it's happening, but if it does, give us Spider-Man DLC. Show us on. We have 80 million people, 100 million people that'll watch. Blah blah blah. I can understand that. I just think it's weird that Sony had a state of play. Okay, it was light too. Like, and I'm not making fun of it. I'm just saying it was light. It was small, and yet you had your first party games, and you had other games there as well. But this would be a big game. If it's DLC, I get it. If it's just DLC, sure. If it's a standalone game like Miles Morales, like they're saying in chat, then I'm just mind boggled by how just a week ago they showed it, where they could have just waited this weekend, like everybody else. PC Gamer Show, Devolver Digital, Xbox, PC, like all of these guys are showing their games this weekend. Sony's like, no, we're gonna do it last week because we want to be different. And I just don't get it. Like, I'll be honest, it's been a week, and people are talking about Concord, and people, that's about it. No one's really, the internet's not really talking about anything else but Concord. And the only reason Concord's being brought up is not because of the game, is because of all the other bullshit that's going around in the industry is why it's being brought up, not because of the actual gameplay, right? And that to me is a waste, right? Because I don't know. I feel like I hope that they show the DLC or whatever the standalone game is, and I hope I'm wrong. And I can apologize to JC because I said they're not going to show it at Summer Game Fest. I said they would just show it at their own event. And I hope they show it, so I'm wrong, so I can apologize. But I still don't think they're going to show it, because to me it doesn't make any sense why you would pay money to show it when you could drop it right now. You could drop it right now, and it costs you $0
because of contracts. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Because of contracts,
I guess.
Right. That's the only way these businesses make moves. if we're under some kind of obligation that we have to do something for one company for some other reason to be named later, then I don't get to show everything. So I have to show it now. I'm contractually obligated. I'm pretty sure that's the way it goes. Because otherwise, as a business, it doesn't make sense. Right? I can show my own stuff on my own site for free. Why would I pay? The only reason why you would pay is some kind of contractual obligation
Yeah.
somewhere in the background between Keeley's business partners and them. I'm telling you, businesses don't walk across the street, okay, unless they're prodded, right? They don't go willingly. They have to have a reason, right? If it costs them money, there's got to be a reason why they do it. Otherwise, they wouldn't do it.
Crimsy, I'm okay with them showing their next showing in September, but we're not in September. We're in fucking Summer Game Fest, right? Summer Game Fest. All PlayStation had to do was take their thing from last week, move it to this weekend, and everything would be fine, right? And what Paul's saying is they don't want to be overshadowed. Just take Xbox and Sony out of the equation for a second. Do you think that Spider-Man's DLC is going to be the biggest thing that you see this weekend? Not coming out this year, just do you think that Spider-Man DLC is going to be the biggest thing if they show it this weekend? I doubt it. I'm pretty sure there's going to be plenty of other games that you don't know about yet or see, and you're going to be like, oh, damn. And you're going to remember that. And you're not going to care about Spider-Man because Spider-Man's already there. You know about 2018 Spider-Man. You know about all the DLC that came out with it. You know Miles Morales came out. You know that Spider-Man 2 came out. No one's going to give a shit. They'll be like, oh, yeah, Spider-Man 2 DLC is coming out. Cool. We just paid $250,000 to show that at Summer Game Fest. Why? That's what I'm talking about. To me, it just makes no sense when it comes to the business sense of it. But you're absolutely right, Sarge. It's probably because of their contract. Keeley probably made them be like, maybe it was last year. Show us your 3 big games or something, or something along the lines. Again, we don't know. We're just kind of speculating on that point. Next thing I want to talk about is we'll stick with Sony. Okay, we'll get to Microsoft shit in a second. Sony, okay. For all these years since the system's been out, Sarge, right? People have been giving shit to Xbox because Xbox on the box said 120 frames per second, up to 120 frames per second. Okay,
that's the little bird we made up.
Yeah, and up to 120 frames per second. Okay, and everyone's like, fucking liars. They're fucking liars. Right? Even though there are games that run at 120 frames per second, up to, not all the games, but there are games out there and stuff. Okay. And everyone's like, they're fucking liars. Now, talks of PlayStation 5 Pro are circulating. Okay. And all of a sudden, some people started noticing that the Xbox, and I thought it was photoshopped, first off. I didn't report on this earlier this week. I talked about it, but I didn't report on it like saying this is official. Okay. But PlayStation 5 Pro are taking the 8K off the boxes. Okay. PlayStation 5s right now in stores in the UK and the United States have been confirmed that they're taking the 8K off the box. Okay. Now, this is speculation on my part. Okay. Speculation on my part is that they're taking the 8K off the box because they're going to put it on the new box of the PlayStation 5 Pro when it comes out later this year because they got to sell what that thing is. The 8K, right? The 8K that's on the box, they haven't used it, okay, for this generation so far, okay? So they're going to take the 8K off. They rubbed it off, and they said, we're going to put it on. And again, I'm speculating. I'm not saying this is what they're doing, okay? But they're going to put it on the new box, because they have to differentiate what the difference is for new people that don't own a PlayStation yet, okay?
Why would I need it?
Why would I need a PlayStation 5 Pro when the PlayStation 5 is here, okay? And the 8K on the box, and again, I've had this conversation with people in our Discord, when you put stuff like that on the box, most common sense people just look at the box and they go, oh, 8K, 8K is bigger than 4K, right?
Better.
Right. 4K is bigger than 2K, right? So, right. Big number, big on the box. They know how people shop, and this is why they put what they do. This is why they put the up to on the Xbox. This is why they put the 8K on the actual thing. So here it says PlayStation 5 Pro could be the first truly 8K console. Okay. It says Sony has started to remove 8K branding labels from the PlayStation 5 boxes in both the US and the UK in a long time coming, but it also moves the fueling speculation surrounding the upcoming PlayStation 5 Pro's intentions. After the point, no point is celebrating the mid-cycle refresh new features is the previous generation has also capable of doing the same thing, right? So again, why do I need the newest, latest, greatest console if it does the exact same thing as the oldest console that just came out, right? So the PlayStation 5 technically is an 8K console. At launch, it was promised that the device would play nicely with the very few 8K TVs that had their way into the people's living rooms. Now, along the tour, okay, through the bank balance, and in the future update, an added actual 7680 by 4320 resolution output should the market call for it. Unfortunately, the market never picked up the phone. Okay, the only game to ever touted the 8K capability on PlayStation 5's life so far is the Tourists, which is also the ultimately forced to squeeze down to 4K when the console firmware never received an 8K update. The title 8K symbol at the top of every PlayStation 5 box is and has been for a long time dead, so it makes sense that Sony has started to remove it from the shelves. But why now? Okay, and obviously, I like to hold the candle and burn both people, right? Because I'm not an Xbox fanboy. I'm not a Sony fan. I call it how it is. Xbox was liars by saying what they're up to. It's shit, okay? And whatever it is, and someone will defend them. I'm sure Mo will come in here and defend them, okay? And then PlayStation said there's 8K, and there's no 8K, which is worse in my opinion, because now they're taking it and removing it off the box. They're removing it off the box, and they potentially might be putting it on the new box for the new PlayStation 5 that comes out supposedly later this year. And that to me is worse in every way possible than what Xbox did and Microsoft did with the up to 120 frames per second, right? They're both companies that are both lying to you on things that the console can or can't do.
It's false advertisement.
Right.
It's false advertising. To say the way they got around it for Xbox is by saying up to. Right. So you could have whatever there is and it'll go up to that much. But to put it on the box and have nothing, no game ever do it, and then remove it from the box to put it on the new box means that the one that you removed it from didn't do it either, right? But no one's going to call him out on this. Someone who's smart legalese way will get him in some kind of class action lawsuit for false advertising if you want to spend the money to fight that kind of stupidity. But it's scummy. It's just scummy. Like we had this argument many days about the whole up to 8K, and we all know there's no difference. You don't know the difference. Like normal people don't know the difference, right? But to advertise it, to make it a feature of your hardware, but yet don't show me that your actual hardware does it, is the problem.
No, there's no 8K on the box for Xbox. I mean, if you want, I can. You know what? Chat a little bit, Sarge. I want to go check the box out because I still have my box. Let me go check it out for a second. Hold on a second.
The box for the box. Right. What's going on in chat? What did you screenshot, Brain, for what Travis said? What are we doing with Travis now? We're putting him inside the history book. What are we doing? What did he say? What's the story here? Is it the one where I might be done with Sony? Is it that? Or is it something else? What did I miss? Yeah, I don't see anything else. That's the only thing that Travis had said.
Okay.
I might be done with Sony.
Let me see. Who said that they have it on the box? Who said? Dave Langard said Xbox X has an 8K on the box too. Where does it have?
Was it a sticker? It could have been a sticker.
No, there's no sticker. This is the original box. I didn't touch shit on this box. On this box, in the bottom corner, it says Series X. On the front, it says 4K, 120 frames per second. Doesn't say up to. It just says 120 frames per second. 1 terabyte SSD.
Turn it around the back.
Okay. Now, on this box, it does say 8K there. But there's a big fucking difference between a big fucking 8K on the front of the box and the side profile in small print. Can you read that? Can you read that? Okay. There's a big difference between putting 8K on the front of the box. And again, my argument, I fought with Krebsy on this. When they put the stuff right here, people look at this. When you go shopping, they're like, oh, what's that? What's that? Oh, 4K, 120 frames per second, 1 terabyte, boom, put it in the cart. Very few of us look at the side box, look at the back of the box. Oh, by the way, this is a collector's item because that's Master Chief on the back, not Starfield. Right? So, again, there's a difference, okay? There's a difference between putting it on the front of the box and putting it on the side of the box. The front of the box means you're advertising it. When it says on the shelf, and you look at it and it says 8K on there and big I mean, it's big, right? I mean, it's big. Let me find the other picture, right? The picture of this, you could tell that that's what they're going for. They're going for the 8K, right? And again, you guys can defend all you want with things, but the advertisement knows what they're doing. The advertisers know what they're doing with the thing. And this is showing, look at this. There's a difference between that. That fucking 8K is like an inch tall on the box.
Oh, that's not a sticker. Was that photoshopped?
No, that's not Photoshop. That is on the box. That's what it looks like on the box. That's an 8K, thumb-sized 8K on the box on PlayStation, on the front box. Okay?
It's just a little scummy, that's all.
Look, I'm just saying it how it is, right? On the side of the box, you want to put 8K in the background and stuff like that? Cool, right? But it's on the front of the fucking box and never hit 8K, right? And the other things never hit the thing that they said. Both companies, as I said in the beginning of this, are fucking scumbags because they lied to you about certain things that the console can do. And now it's 4 years into the making of this thing, and they're like, well, we're finally getting there. We finally got our games hitting 60 frames per second, right? Right? And at least Sony, it has had their stuff hitting the 60 frames per second for their first-party titles, okay? Cool, okay? All I'm saying is all these companies are scumbags because they do this on purpose. Now, if I see an 8K on the PlayStation 5 Pro box, okay, then you really know they're cocksuckers because that's exactly why they removed it off this box then, right?
Well, there's no other reason why
there would be no other reason. Right, there'd be no other reason.
There's no other reason why you would remove it off this one unless you were going to put it on that one.
Clip says, I still have my box. It has that on it. It's still on the Xbox. They both lied. There's a difference. You understand the conversation, Rose, that we're having, right? The front of the box is the prime real estate of what it is. There's a difference between the side stuff and what sits on the shelf. There's a difference. People look at it and go, 8K, right? Just like when you go shopping for a television set and they put the big thing 4K, right? 4K. That's all people look at. They don't look at the actual resolution of what is it true 4K? Is it fake 4K, right? They don't care. They just tell you it's 4K because the 4K sounds good. Oh, 4K, yeah, that's it, right? And that's what I'm talking about.
And we have to double it every time, Mike. So now that's why we're on 8K.
Well, there's actually 16K, okay? I've seen 16K, and that was 10 years ago, okay? You can't afford it because they also don't make anything that actually you can watch on it. They have to use a special camera to get the thing in, and then when your television set would cost $100,000, okay? For 16K.
For now.
For now, right.
But I remember the 4K things used to be $10,000. I remember that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The 4K TVs in Best Buy were $10,000. I remember that.
Easy.
Right? But 10 years later,
you guys can put all the defend all you want. I'm just saying that both companies lie about shit all the time. Okay, and it's scummy when they remove it off one box for the new people. Because the new people don't know about the old box. They just know about the new box. And then when the new box comes out, and they're like, oh, what's the difference between these? Well, this one says 4K, and this one says 8K.
8K.
Right. And that's the way it works. Right. Travis says, bigger issues, companies trying to say, no, you're playing 80 or 120 for a game and you don't own it. We can take that and the fuck you, that's theft. Well, that's a whole nother conversation we can have another time when we talk about that.
Yeah.
But also, even if it could reach 8K, you still need an 8K TV to recap the benefits. That's right. And you also need the cable.
Also true.
Right. You also need the correct cabling also that does the 8K because just a normal HDMI cable wouldn't do the 8K. You would have to buy the updated. There's a lot that goes behind the thing, Salty, that most people don't. They don't.
Right. And the TV would have to have that kind of jack.
I guarantee you. I guarantee you, if most of you guys go to your parents' house. Right? If you didn't set up their television and someone else set up their television up for them or they set it up themselves, I guarantee you the HDMI cable is not the proper cable to get actual 4K on their 4K TV. Right? I guarantee that it's not even set up correctly. They're like, oh, look, the picture's sharper. It looks good. Right? They have no idea. They're like, you walk in, you're like, you guys are still on 1080. What's going on here? Right? They wouldn't know. What do you mean? I'm still on VGA. That's right. Aldente says, I'm about to sell my PlayStation 5 for more, so I just say mine does 8K. That's right. You can put that on the box after they take it off. Be like, does 8K again. I mean, I don't see it as scummy. Majority of the population don't have the TV to take advantage of it. What do you mean it's not scummy? It's scummy if they remove it from the box to put it on the other box, Rose.
Yes.
That's scummy. If they take it off the box now to then put it, again, we're not saying they're doing it if they do it. If they take it off the box now because it doesn't do 8K and they're like, well, maybe we should remove that. But then the PlayStation 5 Pro comes out and they put the 8K back on there. That is 100% fucking scummy.
It's false advertisement.
Yes.
Otherwise, you wouldn't remove it from the box.
Exactly.
You're basically trying to protect yourself from someone collecting a false advertisement on you. That's basically what that is.
Oh, my parents are clueless. I set up their television for them. Of course, right? That's what I did. When I went to my mom's house, I was like, you guys are not even watching the correct thing. Let me go to your settings. Let me do this. Let me do this. They're like, oh, I don't know. My dad's like, it looks good. I don't know. It looks great. Yeah, great, Dad. You're blind. Like, now it looks clearer for you. Both the Xbox and PlayStation 5 can't output 8K signal. It was false advertising. Correct, Paul. And I'm saying it across the board.
Right, that's our point,
That's
Paul.
my whole point, right?
That's the whole point.
When people start putting their jerseys on, they're like, no, PlayStation, it's not scummy.
Do we need to get? Maybe we should do that for the 400th episode, Mike. We'll pick a team. Like I'll put a jersey on.
You got to put a blue shirt on, and I'll put a green shirt on.
Yeah, we can just go to Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby has them. The t-shirts in the back, they match the colors. The t-shirts match everything. So I'll pick the blue one. You get a green one. We each get one. We'll get a green one and a blue one.
I'll be honest. I don't know if I want
to. The shirt's $3. Mike.
No, it's not that. I don't want to wear a colored shirt because then someone will be like, see, he likes that better than the other one. He's a fucking liar. No, I don't know if I want to put myself in that position.
It's meant for a joke, bro.
Oh, I know.
Like, you put the blue shirt on, then you start talking shit. Then you take the shirt off real quick and you put the other shirt on.
You want me to change? I got you. Maybe
right.
I'll split it down the middle and I'll have a.
Yeah.
What about Nintendo? They probably said it comes green pipes. Yeah. Yeah, just look at his background. Yeah, he's definitely green. He's green, team green. Change the middle of the show. Yeah. Yeah, every time I talk about one or the other, I'll just change shirts. They must have shipped it with the HDMI chip set that could also not handle it, as also they meant to come with the system update, which means it was a hardware issue. Look, it's been out for 4 years. The boxes have been on the shelves for 4 years. If you're removing the 8K now, would they all of a sudden get a soul? They're all of a sudden they're like, well, you know what? We gotta remove that.
I mean, we tried doing 8K, we just couldn't do it.
Yeah, we just couldn't do it.
Right. We put the 8K on the box because we were hopeful that we were gonna do it. But after 4 years of trying, we just couldn't. So now we had to take it off the box because at least we tried.
It's just silly, right? Again, if nothing happens from this and the next box comes out and it doesn't have the 8K, no harm, no foul. Then they actually learn their lesson. Like, hey, we actually don't do 8K. Maybe we should take it off the box. They're like, all right, that's cool. Okay. But if if that 8K is on that new PlayStation 5 Pro, you know exactly what they did, right? Guilty, red-handed, right there. Let's see. Vids of the games can render at 8K, but the consoles can't output the signal to the TV, so it's an HDMI issue. However you want to say it, Paul. If it's on the box, and it's off this box, fucking scummy. Period. The low percentage, like 30 and us, care about the majority of people don't give two shits and didn't even notice the 8K logo. That's absolutely right, Krebsy.
That's absolutely true.
1,000%. Most of the people didn't even know that 8K was on the box, right? They saw it because it was a big number, and then they forgot about it as fast as they saw it. They're like, 8K? Okay. And they're like, what's 8K? Like just think that everyone is high when they buy something. They're like, what? Yeah, all right, cool. Right? And I'm just playing games. And that's it. I'm not talking about people that want to buy the system. I'm talking about the companies, right? My channel is based off of the scummy practices of businesses that try to take advantage of customers, okay? And this is one step, okay, even more that they're trying to take advantage of customers who go, oh, 8K in the box. 4 years later, take it off the box. If it shows up on that fucking PlayStation 5 Pro, all of you fucking defenders out there, I'm gonna make you eat that box, okay? Because that means they're fucking scummy, okay? Talk about scummy stuff. Let's go to the next story, Sarge. Next story. Dragon Age Dreadwolf is officially, okay, being renamed with gameplay reveal set for June 11th exclusive. Okay, it's called Dragon Age Veilguard. Okay. Now, you guys do what you want with your money. Okay. Here's the thing I'm putting out there. You buy whatever you want. I'm just going to give you advice and try to save you money. Okay. If you're looking for a better game to play, I'm sure there'll be a better game out there for you to spend your hard-earned money on. Okay. Dragon Age is like Skull and Bones. It's been in development hell for the last 4 to 5 years. Okay. They forced them to use the Frostbite engine. They were making the game one way and then it switched other ways. Developers that were working on this game moved over to Anthem and then they went back over there and then they had other problems. There's been a lot of problems with this Dragon Age game. And I know people are going to be psyched up. They're going to see the beautiful graphics, whatever they show, and people will be like, I'm going to pre-order this day one and blah, 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 and the season pass or whatever.
Dragon Age, love it.
Okay. Just be mindful that this game has a really bad development cycle. Okay. People didn't leave the company because it was a good time. They left the company because there's something wrong with the game, rebooted it. They didn't even want to use the engine. Okay. They didn't want to use the engine, but they had to use the engine because it was an in-house engine. They're like, well, you might as well use it. We use it for first-person shooter games. And they're like, but this is not a first-person shooter game. Give it a shot. Go for it. Right? They used it, I believe, on Dragon Age, the last Dragon Age as well. Okay. Which was a nightmare. If you know Mark Daria, he was one of the developers. He has a channel on YouTube that you can go watch. And he's talked about this in the past in articles and different things. So Dragon Age coming out. We don't have too much information. We'll see it next week. But the next Dragon Age is set to get its first big gameplay reveal on June 11th. And it does. If it's a new game, IGN can exclusively reveal that the latest entry in the Dragon Age franchise, previously known as Dragon Age Dreadwolf, is being renamed Dragon Age. Okay, the news comes with the host of details and shed new light on BioWare's anticipation of the RPG, which is up until this point has been kept heavily under wraps. Amongst other things, BioWare confirmed that the Veilguard will feature 7 party members and also feature a fun and fluid moment-to-moment combat with continuing to center strategy via the unique powers of each companion. But its name change will also do most of the raised eyebrows amongst the fandom. Ever since the conclusion of Dragon Age Inquisition Trespasser, DLC fans have expected the story focused on Solus and the former companion who also revealed to be the Elven God. Now, Dreadwolf, BioWare general manager Gary McKee explained that while the Solstice is still very much as part of the story, Dragon Age, the Veilguard, is the team wanted a title to reflect the real deep, compelling group of companions. Okay, which this game was supposed to be different, and this is why they needed the name change, and this is because they completely changed the game, right? What the game was supposed to be and what the game is now is two different things. So anytime stuff like that happens in video games, just be weary. Just watch more videos, watch the footage that comes out. If you like it, obviously buy it, right? I'm not here to stop you from buying a game. I'm just trying to here to tell you that, don't buy a game day one. Wait for reviews, wait for week one, wait to see what the game actually is before you purchase the pre-order, so you can get that skin that you really don't own in a digital game. So that's basically it. Have you played a Dragon Age game, Sarge? The last one I played was Dragon Age 2. I think it was 2.
It's been a while. Honest to God, it's been a while. I used to play them in the very beginning. I used to play them.
The last one I played, I think, was around 2012.
If I see the cover box, I could tell you which one I played.
I didn't play Inquisition. I didn't play the Inquisition, which is the third one, right, chat? Dragon Age Inquisition is the third one? I believe it is. What does moment-to-moment combat mean? It means moment-to-moment. Moment-to-moment. It probably means there's going to be microtransactions and your companions are going to be really cool. And you can change them up and give them cool stuff. Dragon Age Origins was good. Yeah, Dragon Age Origins was good. It sounds like a good story. Oh, you read that. Good evening, 30. What's going on, Melrose? So
I think Origin was before Inquisition. I think.
Yeah. It was. I think it's Dragon Age 2, then no. I think it's Dragon Age. Forget the fucking names. I'll be honest with you. I haven't played it in a while. Frostbite was hard-coded for first-person shooter games. Yeah. Then they made Anthem, and then they decided they were to make this game as well. So that's why I'm a little weary of it. So Dragon Age coming out, excited, I guess. I'm not really too excited until I see what's going on there. We already talked about multiverses. We got Borderlands 4 supposedly coming out. Some sort of information about Borderlands 4. We kind of talked about it a couple weeks ago, Sarge. I'm not really too like excited for. I never thought I would say this, right? I'm not too excited about a Borderlands announcement. I'm not even excited about the Borderlands movie. Are you excited about anything Borderlands is happening if they come out with Borderlands 4?
All right, so in the order of how you're talking about it, I think they burnt out on Borderlands because they kept trying to stack it and they weren't doing a good job. You can't always get perfection, right? And I'm not saying Borderlands 2 was perfection, but when you play 1
Pretty
and then
damn
you go
close,
to
though.
2 and you go to 2 and then all the DLCs that they had for 2 made that game just fun to be in that world.
Yeah.
Right? The story was good, the writing was good, the guns were fun, multiplayer was fun, trying to do the different combinations with the different weapons to make your guy super OP was fun. Now, you were trying to copy what was going on in Borderlands 2 and it just didn't work, right? They don't always work. It's cool, but you kept chasing it and you kept chasing it and I'm like, okay. So now what? You want us to be excited after the third mediocre game that you want us to be excited by 4? Like
Yeah.
it's not something I would get day 1, right? Am I excited for the movie? No. However, I'm probably going to go with a friend and we're probably going to be drinking beforehand and we're just going to watch the movie like two 12-year-old kids. Like we're not going to judge it. We're going to just drink some scotch.
Right, just try to
and
enjoy it. Right.
and just sit and don't ask any questions and just watch it for the hell of it. Like I don't the first turnoff, 'cause I don't want to get into this. The first turnoff to me is Kevin Hart is rolling.
I knew you were going to say that. Yeah.
That's just not rolling. It's just not rolling.
Maybe he'll surprise you.
No, he's not going to surprise me. He's 4'10". He's not going to surprise me.
I think he's 5'3". I think he's 5'3".
Is he going to be wearing 6-inch platform shoes when he plays rolling? Come on, man.
Yeah, I'm not excited. I'm not excited for it. I haven't been excited for Borderlands. I was excited. We talked about this in the past. I was excited for Borderlands 3, but then for reasons I got unexcited for Borderlands 3. I did play Borderlands Tiny Tina's Wonderland. It's forgettable. Like it's just I didn't hate it, but I also it wasn't memorable. It was just sort of like a fun game to play, but a really quick game to forget about.
You do understand though that certain games, the game mechanics build upon themselves, right? Like when you play Borderlands 2, you don't really care about the story when you're playing right away, but that's like the first thing you encounter is like what's happening, why am I there? And then it's such a nice I don't know how to explain it any other way. It's such a good balance between the story plot that's going on and you going off on your own trying to farm for weapons, right? Because you don't know where things are. Anything could be anywhere. It's not you're not target farming anything. The only target farm you had in Borderlands was specific bosses dropped specific guns. Otherwise than that, anything could drop anywhere, right? The difficulty of the game, right? How it's scaled, right? So if you were trying to the way the game was programmed, if you tried to rush the game, you got gear checked, right? If you tried to rush to a point of the game that you weren't ready for, you didn't level up enough, you got gear checked. And so you just had to hang out and do around the map and find out more weapons and get better gear because that's just how it worked. It wasn't just ran around, got the B and the infinity gun and I win, right? That's not how it played out. The bosses were hard. You had to figure out how to beat them. You had multiple attempts to try to beat a boss because if you didn't work together, it was over. You were underpowered almost 80% of the time you fought a boss. You were underpowered. Only later on in the game when they released the DLC where you could put more points into your skill tree where you could actually fight a boss and not feel like it was taxing, right? It was a mesh of things that just made the game
right. There's a whole bunch of things that made the game really good. And to hit that point again, I don't know if they can I don't know if they can recapitulate that to make it like that. If they try to make it like that, it's not going to work.
Very hard to it's hard to lightning strike twice, man. They should be very happy of the outcome of what Borderlands 2 actually was because Borderlands 1 was a good game. It wasn't like super critically acclaimed, but it was a good, fun game. But 2 blew it out of the park.
So I have a question. Would you be, instead of them keep continuing on to make Borderlands 4 or 5 and 6 down the road, do you think they should just stop making them for right now, and then 10, 15 years down the road, remake it.
Too long. No, too long. I'm
Well,
going to be honest
reboot
with
it, I
you.
should say.
I don't think Borderlands 2 is a game that you do a remaster for. The game
Is
was perfect as it was.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Now, if you are trying to recapture lightning in a bottle, then you would have to go back to square one and get writers, right? And write a new story.
See,
Because the game, listen, the game writes itself. Everybody played it, or excuse me, everybody who did play it realized that the whole story was this was just one vault. We could be going to different planets. Even at the end of the game, they showed planets with vaults on them, and you thought to yourself, awesome, we can go anywhere and look for more weapons. The whole game's in an infinite loop of us getting better weapons, right?
I was just gonna say what Krebsy said.
But did they do that?
I was just gonna say what Krebsy said.
Yeah. But did they do that? No.
Yeah,
They decided to jump off the boat and then try to do something completely different.
it's a perfect opportunity because of the Vault Hunters. They could make it a
Yes.
live service game,
Yes.
Borderlands MMO-esque type of thing. See, I think I know I'm one of the very few people that like this game because a lot of people didn't like Battleborn because of the MOBA-esque of it. But I thought the single player of Battleborn was their way of having that Borderlands humor and going in a separate direction, right? Like they didn't have to keep writing in the Borderlands realm, but they had this other IP they could have done a single player aspect for, but they kind of ruined it because they made it a MOBA, right? I don't know. I feel like Gearbox had a way out instead of trying to rely on Borderlands, and they could have done something with that franchise with a lot of different characters and whatnot, but they kind of just tossed it out the window. So yeah, chat, let me know. Are you guys excited for Borderlands 4? Are you excited for whatever next installment? And are you excited for the movie? Let's move on to Xbox news. There's a couple of Xbox big showcase this week. I'm going to start off with the story that Hellblade 2 just came out. It's been like 2 weeks or so. And this first story says nearly 90% of Hellblade 2 Xbox players haven't completed the story. Okay. Now, I love doing these things because I always play the games and I always go to the achievement list and always look at the achievement list that says like make it to level 5. And like level 5 is like, I don't know, if you left your console on for 2 hours, you would hit level 5, right? Like doing absolutely nothing in the game, you would hit level 5. Okay, it says nearly 90% of Xbox players who have started Hellblade 2 haven't had it through or haven't made it through the action-adventure game's short 7-hour runtime in its complete story. Now, it's a short game. We're not asking for you to put 30 hours in a game, right? This is just 7 hours. People beat it in 5, they said, right? So it says, looking at a global Xbox achievement data from the from Hellblade 2 achievement, it reveals that nearly 90% of Hellblade 2's Xbox players haven't completed the story, which is pretty surprising considering it only takes around 7 hours to beat it. Okay, it says at the end, it's a miserable story-related achievement that unlocks at the conclusion of Hellblade 2's 6th and final chapter. It's straightforward to unlock, as it requires no extra effort other than finishing the game. But strangely, an incredible 87% of Xbox players who have fired up Hellblade 2 in the 2 weeks since launch somehow still doesn't have the achievement, and this cites 34% of true achievement members and will establish how the gamers don't often finish their games. But to see only 13% of players that made it through the end of Hellblade 2, Mo's played it 3 times. Big Bad Mo, he's played through the story 3 times, so that percentage is a little skewed because he's one person that completed it 3 times. So things only marginally better at 37% on Steam players unlocking it. So again, Sarge, most people don't finish games. They buy a game, they'll spend $70, they'll spend $100, they'll spend $130, they'll spend $250, and they won't play the game.
And I cannot stress this to you enough. Okay, this is not meant to be a dig on anybody. However, excluding the people in this room, because I think the majority of people that come to watch us are actual gamers.
They're gamers.
Not hardcore, but they're gamers, right? Most people are filthy casuals. Gaming to them is a form of entertainment, and it's disposable income. I'm busying myself, and I'm playing a game for the fun of it. Whether I like it or not doesn't matter because I just was doing it for fun. Now, if I finish it or not doesn't matter. Now, myself included, when I go out and I buy a game, right, the mission is I need to finish this game. Now, I might not finish it all in one sitting or the same month, but that's in here. I finish games. I bought it. I'm going to finish it. It goes on the shelf. The trophy is listed in my head. Before trophies were even given in games, the trophies were in my own head, right? Most people are filthy casuals. The achievement list on some of these games should tell you immediately that people don't play games.
Yeah, a lot of
to
people
finish
don't.
them.
Yeah.
They just play them.
It
It's
sells
just to
12
play
million
for fun.
copies. It sells 12 million copies and like 10 people finish the game. 10,
Right, they don't
10%
care.
of the game. Yeah.
They don't care.
Well,
Right? It's not a big deal. But once again, it's not a big deal. The market is not full of hardcore gamers. The market
no,
is
it's
full of
casual gamers.
right?
That's right.
So now as the population, yeah, I've talked about this in the past. In the normal world, when games were just games, like back in the days of like regular Nintendo, Sega Genesis system, right? Sega Master System, like those years, right? You grew up playing video games. Once you went to college, you went and got a job, got married, and started your life. Gaming wasn't part of your life, right? You just stopped. Were there some people that still had it in their life? Yes. But the majority of people, once you graduate and got a job, like gaming's out, you're doing your own shit. You got shit to do, right? Slowly but surely, the percentage of people who found gaming to be fun and something to keep in your life as a hobby, as opposed to doing what other hobbies that you would normally do, they kept gaming. So the population of people who were older were still playing games, right? So you have this influx of people that come in to buy games, the kids, and they grow up with gaming, but now they're not going anywhere. They're staying within gaming. So the pile of people who play games just kept getting bigger, right? Because some people leave, right? But a lot the people coming into gaming used to be almost not even close to what was leaving, right? But now people are staying longer. Like I'm still gaming.
Right. I'm
Right?
still gaming. Yeah.
Right. So people have games in their lives longer. And so why do you think all these companies were able to blow up? Right? How do you think all these companies were able to reach these levels of EA money?
Yeah.
And
Activision money, EA money.
Activision money, because there were more people playing games, right? And now they decided that number of people, even though was growing, I wouldn't say exponentially, but it was a good percentage year over year.
It's the biggest.
Now you invested in mobile phones, and so now you're talking about the planet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you're talking about the planet.
Well, Dave, it's a little different with Skyrim. Like, you putting 800 hours in a game and not finishing it is different than a 7-hour single-player story where it's literally you just play through the story and you go through the story. It's done in 7 hours, right? 7 hours is different than 800 hours, right? You got your money's worth. It's okay if you don't finish that game, but a game that's 7 hours that's not an open-world game, it's a pretty straightforward game.
Yeah, but I want to know, Langer, I want to know, you played that many hours, but why didn't you finish it? Now, before you answer, before you type it.
I know why, because he got lost in the world.
No, hang on. All right, before you type the answer in, Dave, hang on. I'm going to give you my answer first. All right, type it in, but don't hit enter. Okay, type it in, but don't hit enter. All right? For me, if I really love the game, like I'm crazy about it, right? I stayed home from work. I got it first day one, midnight release. I'm living the game. I'm loving the game, right? Lost relationship because I love playing video games for too long. Like, for some reason, if I know finishing the game will make me stop playing it because I'm finished with it, I won't finish it. I won't do the last mission in the game on purpose because I still want to be inside the world.
I know exactly what you mean. If I beat the game, I'm done with the game.
If you don't understand what I'm saying, chat. Some of you do, some of you don't. But that's the reason why I don't.
Yeah, if it's a single player game, right? Like I played, for instance, Starfield, right? Starfield just like I could have beaten Starfield in 20 hours, right? But I did this. You ever see that? You ever see that example online where they're like, men are easy? It just goes, they answer the question, it goes straight line, but a woman it does this and it goes all around in a circle before they say the answer. That's how I am with games. Red Dead Redemption, Starfield, any wide open game. I'm like this. It's like point A, here's the end. I'm like, and I'm like, nope, going around. Because I know as soon as I beat that game gets shut down. and I don't play it again, right? Jedi Survivor, I beat the game. I put 52 hours into the game, okay? But I have still much more to do in that game, but I beat the game. So I'm like, I'll get to it later, right? I'm terrible at this. Starfield did the same thing. I did all the side quests, didn't do the main story because I knew if I did the main story and I beat the game, right, I would not play the game anymore. I did this with Fallout, was it 3 or 4, where you could beat it by accident. It was like 4-hour campaign by accident. I was playing Fallout 3 and I beat the game and I went,
accidental.
Yeah, accidentally. I beat the game. And I went, oh, all right, well, I'm done, right? Not until I started a new character and went back in and played it, and I played it for a lot more hours. I was like, what the hell? That's when I stopped playing like the main story. That's why anytime I play an open world game, like Outlaws is coming out, or I played an Assassin's Creed, I'll go and do all the side quests, because if I do the main story and I beat the main story, I'm done. I put the game down. That's how I am. Dave Langer says, because I found killing the dragons over and over tedious, and I love the side content better. The side stuff is much more interesting. Yeah, you got lost, and that's what I said at the beginning. You go do everything else, and you don't want it to end. You're like, oh, this is so good. This is such a good game. I just want to keep playing. And I think this is why live service games are big, okay? Because once you find, again, you don't have to have millions of people playing it, but if you like a live service game, you like it because it's more, this is why Destiny is so popular, right? Destiny, you can beat the game, but there's so much stuff to do, and it's fun to shoot the stuff. So you just keep doing the same thing over and over, and it has that recipe of why people love Destiny, right? Jason says, I did everything in Elden Ring before I finished. My total time was 103 hours. Right. You do everything else, right? I had 192 hours in Starfield because I didn't even do everything else. I did a lot of stuff, but I finished all the side quests, and then I did the main story. 192 hours. Yeah. Once you beat it, it's over. Yeah, I've never beaten Skyrim, probably have like 500 hours in it. Game over, 3 systems. Yeah. And those open world games are like that. That's exactly what it is.
But that was the original get lost in the world type of thing. That was the whole thing about Bethesda and Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, because when you played Oblivion and when you played Morrowind, it was cool.
And Oblivion,
but Skyrim was next level with the graphics and stuff at that time.
It was next level at the time. It was next level.
Right, the mods always make you come back and stuff like that. Yeah, I have over a month in Starfield and still haven't reached the plateau. Brain is like going in. He's like, he figured out that there's like 24 playthroughs, not the 12 or 10, whatever people say there was. Right? He says you can go in there like 20. Is right, Brain? You said there's 24 playthroughs that you can do, or variations of the actual thing, and he has like some sort of like conspiracy thing that's going on that he's figuring out. Okay, and kind of makes me want to go back and play. I can't wait for the Shattered Space, which actually, let's talk about that, right? Xbox.
What's he doing now? Conspiracy and
he says that there's more. That he thinks it's part of it. It aligns with the Greek alphabet, and how there's 24 letters in the Greek alphabet, and how there's more things going too. So it's not just the 10 that people talked about. There's actually more that you can keep going into the game and completing it 24 times, not the 10.
Okay.
I don't know. So
this sounds like a 3 Scotch conversation.
So this weekend, Xbox's showcase, 24 unique universes, not just 10. There you go. Okay. So Xbox is supposed to do their big event this weekend, right? Not supposed to, they are. They're doing their big event this weekend. I'm going to cover it live. People are talking about the handheld device that they're supposedly supposed to show. They're talking about like different games they're going to show. I think one of the shadow drops that people are speculating on, they think it's Towerborn. I think it's Bethesda's Starfield's DLC. I think the DLC they're going to show, and then they're just going to drop it and say it's out now. Out of the games that you think, Sarge, I don't know if you know a lot of the games that are coming out. There's Avowed. There's the DLC for Starfield. There's Towerborn. There's a couple of games.
The DLC for Spider-Man.
Well, no, that's Sony. I'm talking about Xbox games.
Oh, just Xbox.
There's a couple other games. But what do you think the shadow drop will be for Xbox? What do you think the mic drop is? Do you think the shadow drop is the handheld, or do you think it's no? Actually, I shouldn't say shadow drop. They're not dropping a handheld, announcing the handheld. Or do you think it's going to be the DLC for Shattered Space for Starfield? Do you think it's Stealth says maybe Fable?
I mean, it's summertime. The kids are out of school. I might go along the lines in saying that Call of Duty's definitely Game Pass, and that's coming
For which one? I'm sorry, say again.
for Xbox. Like they would say, like that Call of Duty's coming out for
Well,
Xbox.
they already know the Call of Duty. It's already out. That's already been leaked. They have a show after the show.
Yeah, a leak, yes, but not official.
No, it's official. Xbox came out and actually said that Game Pass is on Game Pass.
I'm sorry, I thought that was the leak.
No. There was a leak about the show after the show,
and then they admitted it.
And then Xbox came out and said that Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is on Game Pass, 100%. Yeah.
Well, then, I mean, I'll lean towards handheld, but that's a whole other separate discussion. I don't believe the handheld is a thing. It makes no sense. It doesn't make sense in the terms of what's going on in the gaming sphere. Another handheld by Microsoft doesn't make sense.
I agree. I mean, I think they're partnering up with someone for a handheld. I don't think they're doing a handheld for themselves. People said otherwise. I just don't think that. I do believe that if the handhelds to succeed, if they do have a handheld, it can't just be a handheld. It can't just be like I'm playing Xbox here and then I could pick up my handheld and then play on the go. It would have to be a standalone, like, why am I buying this? Because I don't want to play on a small screen the entire time. So it has to have a dock for me, right? And
so it's Microsoft's version
of
a
Switch, right? In my opinion. And at the same time, with the handheld, is it going to be stronger or less stronger than the Series S? Because again, Xbox, unless they've changed their business model, is that they want parity across the platform. So if the handheld comes in effect, then that's just one more speed bump in the way of making games where they have to work with the S, the handheld, and now the X is now being even pushed back even more what it can do because there's two systems that are not as powerful as the X.
I don't understand. I really am trying to understand why they would want to do a handheld, but I don't see it. I don't. Out of all the hardware that they don't have to manufacture that can have Game Pass on it and cloud gaming, I don't see the handheld as viable. And even if they did come out with it, sell me a Microsoft handheld. How do you sell me a Microsoft handheld? Like, what are you going to say to me?
I mean,
what is it going to do that my laptop, my iPad, my phone,
right,
like everything else I have won't do? Like, what is it going to do?
I mean, it can play games natively on there instead of through the cloud, right? You download it and it can play it natively on the actual system itself. I don't know. I'm not a big handheld guy. Like, I like playing the Switch, don't get me wrong. Okay? But if I can play the Switch on a TV set when we travel, it's a great thing to bring. Okay? But I don't want to play on a small screen. Like Dave Rose and stuff have said in the past, I don't want to play on a small screen myself.
We've done that already.
Correct. I had a Game Boy, Game Boy Advance.
We grew up on small screens. We want big screens now. So if you're talking about kids who always have big screens in their house since they were born, and now they're going backwards, like, this is cool, I can play on a small screen. Like, I don't understand that mentality, because I started with this, and so now I'm like, the bigger the better. Right. And everybody else started with big TVs in their house. And so it's cool for them to be in the car playing a video game on a small screen. I get it. But I'm not that way anymore.
I agree, Rose. Like, they're having problems selling the consoles they have now, and to bring in another device, not to say that that's going to fail as well, but the console market is not saturated. There's literally Nintendo and PlayStation. The handheld market's a little bit more saturated. Okay. So to say, right, and there's talks that PlayStation's in talks to have another handheld device, which I think is, please be true, because I would love to be right again, okay? But I feel like it's weird to have the Xbox, and again, I think the Steam talk, what people saying is $16 billion to own Steam, I think that $16 billion is to get in bed with Steam. I don't think they're owning anything of Steam. I think they paid Steam $16 billion so they can get Xbox natively on the Steam Deck, and they're partnered with them to do something, because I don't see them doing anything else. To me, it makes no sense why you would do research and development, spend it on a hardware for a device that you're not selling your hardware now, and you think that you're going to come into this market with the Steam Deck and the Rogue Ally and all these other handhelds that are coming out, with the Switch as number one handheld on the market, okay? And we don't know about the Switch 2, that you're going to come out with the Xbox, and all of a sudden it's going to be earth-shattering and everyone's going to play the game. Now, obviously, if this is another thing that play Game Pass on, which it would be. If they partner with someone like the Steam Deck or ROG Ally, then I think that's a much smarter move. And again, I will say I'm wrong when they announce it on Sunday that they have a handheld device.
I mean, they could say something. They could say something interesting, like maybe like cloud streaming has improved. They have some kind of new thing for cloud streaming, and that improved, right? Because let's remember that the bottleneck in the entire Microsoft lineup for console is the potato.
Yeah,
right? It just is.
And now it would be the handheld.
Right. So all signs point to no.
I mean, were they going to lock it in at 30 frames per second? Like, what are they?
Up to
locking in 60 frames per second. What are they doing? Chat.
I don't
try to tell me why you're interested in buying a handheld from Xbox, if anyone is. Okay.
I mean, I'm putting the blue shirt on for this one. I would not buy a handheld from Microsoft.
No, because I would rather look. Okay, let's just say this. Okay, you buy a handheld for Xbox, and you can play Xbox games on the Xbox console. I can get a Steam Deck or a ROG Ally, and I can play Xbox games on those as well, and I can play the Steam library on those things as well, right? So it's like, why am I going to buy the Xbox where I can just play Xbox games? You see what I'm saying? Like the value. Now, obviously, what the price point is. What's the price point of this thing? Is it $400, $500? Is it going to be more than the console that you're paying? Imagine paying $500 for a thing that's going to hold back your Xbox Series X. You're paying $500 for a thing that's going to hold back the Series X even more. It doesn't make sense to me. Make it make sense. I was watching someone. I was watching someone do a review of the Acolyte, and they're doing a whole bunch of stuff. They're like, "Make it make sense." He's like screaming at the. That's what I feel like. Like, make it make sense. Why do I have a handheld device from Xbox?
No, absolutely, Walter. That is Xbox logic. They're just getting their feet under them, where they're starting to not to be bloated and spend money outside. They're getting their revenue, and then they just come out with another piece of hardware that's going to blow their money out. I don't get it.
Jones says handheld makes some sense. They want you to get their ecosystem, and the handheld isn't sold at a loss. It makes sense. If not, a partnership is viable. Partnership. If it's a partnership, I agree all day. If it's a partnership with Steam or ROG or one of them,
why? But why do I want it?
No, but
why do I want it?
No, but they're already selling those. Is what I'm saying. That would make them more valuable to get an Asus or a Steam Deck, right? Putting this on the devices already out there, that makes sense.
Yes.
Making a standalone to compete with those makes no sense to me, especially with their business sense of they want everything on Game Pass. Right? Game Pass is an app that you can put on those devices. You don't need to make your own device to go play. I can play it right now. I can play Game Pass right now on my phone, on my laptop, on my iPad, right? On my Google Android device, whatever. I can play Game Pass on the Google phone, on the iOS. Why would I make my hardware? This is why I'm just so confused by it. I don't know. Xbox will buy it. Sure. Okay. Going from the handheld device that's supposed to maybe get announced, okay, Microsoft is also going into remaster Halo Combat Evolved again and is considering a PlayStation 5 release, says new report. Okay, Microsoft reportedly in early stages developing another remaster of Halo Combat Evolved as considering releasing it on the PlayStation 5. According to Tom Warren at The Verge, he received a website new Notepad newsletter subscription required to the first 30 days are free. A report outlines that the details surrounding the upcoming Xbox showcase includes the fact that Microsoft is going to port other games under Project Latitude. However, according to Warren, Fable, Gears 6, and South of Midnight are currently not planned for porting. The new Doom game, which will be called Doom: The Dark Ages, will be. Okay, Halo Combat Evolved has already released remasters once before as part of the Halo Combat Evolved anniversary, and the remaster, including the game being remade at 343 Industries' in-house game engine, and also would include achievements, terminals, and skulls. The game is originally released in November of 2011 and re-released as part of Halo Master Chief Collection. So what do you guys think? Halo Master Combat Evolved remaster coming to PlayStation 5? Look, I think it's a little wrong if Mario came on PlayStation or if Mario went on Nintendo on Xbox, it would be a little weird, right? Because that's the first party title. Halo is the Mario for Xbox. It was the character for Xbox. obviously it's been on multi-platform ever since it came out because it's always been on PC and Xbox. But to go to PlayStation, this one feels a little wrong. Everything else you could throw out there. The Halo for me seems a little weird, but hey, if they do it, it's more people to play the game. Do you think, Sarge, they're going to remake this? And if they do remake it, I said this in a tweet earlier. Do you think they're going to remake it in Unreal Engine 5?
They haven't fixed the Halos that they have currently out.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
It does matter. It does matter.
It doesn't matter to them.
Anytime this happens quite often, but we don't always pay attention because we're not always lining up the companies properly. But anytime there is a lull in new releases because they cancel games and they push things back, so these openings happen in their calendar year, and so they know how long it takes to do a remaster, right? Like they know. Like if we're going to do a remaster, maybe it takes them 18 months, or maybe it takes them a year, or maybe a little less, depending on how many guys they have working on it, because those guys aren't doing anything at the moment because of the cancellation of other games. But they try to squeeze them in. And so if they didn't take care of Halo Infinite, and now you want them to do Halo, another remaster for PlayStation, do you think that they're going to fall for that? Like, oh, we're going to get PlayStation or Halo remastered on PlayStation. That's going to be awesome. What do you mean? Right? You just played it on PC, or I think everyone's fine. Like, I don't think you're going to go out and rebuy the original Halo game in a half-assed manner because they don't have another game to fill that month or fill that quarter. Because that's what it is.
Right.
Anytime you see a remaster, it's them filling a hole because a game is missing. Like how many? That's how you know, because how many times did Bethesda use Skyrim? Right? A lot of cancellations, right? Remember all the cancellations?
Yeah. I don't know. I think they remake it, and I do think they use the Unreal Engine 5 because it just makes sense, because it's like you're not making a new game under the Unreal Engine 5. You're taking an old game that already exists and you're porting it over to Unreal Engine 5, so it's like a testing ground for the next game they can make in the Unreal Engine 5, so they can remaster it using the new engine, and then they can work from there. I don't know. Again, it doesn't affect me as just an icon of Master Chief. Obviously, he's in Fortnite, and that's fine, but to be on a competitors as a game that runs on the competitors thing, that
enjoy
right. So I mean, that's like God of War coming over to Xbox. Like you could play God of War. It'd be weird. That's like God of War is a Sony PlayStation.
But it wouldn't be weird. But the Sony people would be upset that they get to play their game without buying a system.
Right. Which they are, because they're mad that they're on PC, right?
Right.
So I don't know. It's just a little weird. Speaking of, like, I don't know if you follow a lot of stuff, Sarge, as far as like the showcase that's coming.
I used to.
Okay.
Until everyone was lying about everything.
The showcase is coming, and let me get
like the showcase from Let's Make a Deal. Do I pick?
No. Like Xbox is coming. Okay, it's coming out on Sunday, right? And like I said, I'm gonna be doing it live, so everyone can watch it with us here live. Okay, so Xbox this weekend has an Xbox showcase. Could run 2 hours. Some people are saying over 2 hours, and include 30 games. Okay, so according to Giant Bomb reporter Jeff Grubb, who was speaking about the event on Wednesday, Kind of Funny Gamecast, he says, quote, "I'm not going to spoil anything, but the numbers I'm hearing is about 2 hours and about 30 games. At least a handful of those games are ever heard of before. So we've never heard of these. A handful of those games, okay, are going to be games that you've never even heard of before up to this point. Taking place on June 9th at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. BST, Xbox Game Showcase will be the first in such event to include titles from Xbox Game Studio, Bethesda, and Activision Blizzard." He says, quote, "I think there will be around 5 games that we haven't heard about before from across all the verticals." And Grubb said that before going into to a tease of a showing for BioWare's Dragon Age. He continues by saying, "I joke that Dragon Age Dreadwolf won't be there, but there will be a Dragon Age game because it is Dreadwolf. They just changed the name." Okay. He also says, while there's also speculated that it also could mean that Dragon Age Remake is on the cards, Bloomberg reporter Jason Schreier said that the rumor is alluding to its name change for DA4, not a different game. So there you go. So we already talked about that. Another thing that they said that they could be, there's claims that Gears of War 6 and a new Doom game will be showcasing here, along with Black Ops 6, Avowed, Microsoft Flight Sim 2024, Indiana Jones, The Great Circle. Do you think, Sarge? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Wait a minute. Wait. You said about 30 games in 2 hours. That you said,
30 games in 2 hours, yeah,
right? If I divide that by the minutes, that's 4 minutes.
per game.
That's not counting commercials or
There's not
devs
gonna be
talking about
commercials. There's
bullshit or whatever.
no
It's just
commercials.
them talking. It's just
I
them talking. Boom, 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 like this.
I mean, they could show 30 games. They don't have to show because there could be like 5 or 6 games. They do like a quick
Montage.
montage. Yeah, they could just do a montage because
Well,
they could be far off or whatever.
no, I get it, but that's still all right. Well, I'll wait to see what happens. I won't
Well,
say anything. On it.
my thing is there a game that Xbox that we've seen in the past couple years, or maybe a shot in the dark, like a couple years ago? My pick for a game to show up there was Transformers Reactivate, and it showed up, and I was blown away. I was like, that's coming out or they're going to show it this year, and it blew me away. Is there a game that perhaps maybe Xbox down the road has that you're looking forward to, or maybe to see some sort of word on for Xbox?
I think Dave has my vote. I think the only game that's been in the void for a long time that's Xbox related is Gears of War.
Yeah, I want to see Gears of War 6. I think, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a game that they're trying to, I don't know, maybe see some surprise.
Like, what's a surprise from Xbox? A game that's finished? Like, what do you mean?
I see a lot of remakes. Like, I see a lot of games using the new engine for Starfield. I see them maybe doing the Fallout 3, which could be coming. We know a little bit from the FTC saying they could do a remake,
a remaster, for
a remaster. Same with Oblivion. Oblivion could be a remaster as well with maybe the new engine. I don't know. I'm just saying that would be a surprising thing if they did with the new engine, because I know Starfield gets shit, but the game is beautiful when you look at certain things. I mean, that the engine is much better than it was with the older Creation engine.
Sure.
So I would be excited to see something from Bethesda about the remakes of Fallout, right? Jason says Fallout 1 and 2 remakes would be a mic drop for me. I don't know, Jason. Do you think, and again, I don't know if they have, I feel that Fallout 1 and 2 can't be touched, and that's why they made 3, 4. I feel like sort of like Disney can't touch. Well, no, sort of like Disney can't touch Lucas's original Star Wars. I feel like Bethesda can't touch the original Fallout series of 1 and 2 for some reason.
Well, 1 and 2 are not that long to begin with, and it's an isometric record view type of game. So, like, what would you do? You would do the first-person version of those, and even if
which people are making mods of those right now,
right? So the game wouldn't be that long. So, like, I see why you'd want it. You want to play it in the first person, but at the same time, it's like I don't know. There's one, we've had the discussion in the past. There are specific games that are good enough, and then just did not have the technology at the time to warrant a remaster, right? And then other times the game should just stand on its own. That's what it was for the time, and it's not a big deal. Only when you recognize that a development team was trying to do more with less. Like, you could see sometimes in some of the games of the mechanics and things that they were trying to do in the game that they just could not do what they wanted to because of the limitations. And so those kind of games deserve a remaster, right? Like we said it before. Like, maybe Mass Effect 1 would get a remaster. You know what I mean? Like, that would deserve a remaster.
Not like the legacy thing they did. Yeah.
Like a true remaster. Because once again, the spacing between games is a factor. The technology advancements over a 4-year period back in the day were substantially can't speak.
Substantially. Yeah. No, you got
it. Thank you. Just say the word for
substantially.
Greater than other games in the same time period, right? Like, you see the jump, right? You see the jump. Like, you see, like, the difference between 1 and 2 of a game was like night and day, right? Because of that time period, that 3 years or 4 years, where the technology and the hardware and the engines and everything was like jumping. And now we don't get those kind of jumps anymore. We're kind of like in the same area. And that's why we got stuff happening like, I'm removing AK off this box, and might be throwing it on a different box, because the technology really isn't advancing as fast as we once saw. Like, we're seeing advances. There are games that we're seeing where the graphically enhanced, that X-Men game you talked about, Black Panther? You saw that with those?
Oh yeah, I would
Yes.
like to see more
That-
Summer Game
It's
Fest with
that'd
that.
be like a story game. That'd be like a story game. Like we see the other ones, you see the adaptations of what's going on with Bethesda and their engines, but like it's not like pivotal, like a substantial change that makes you want to buy another system.
Well, I don't think you can get
It's
to
not
this.
there.
I don't think you can get to substantial change anymore. I think the graphics have already or hit to a point where you're not going to get impressed by anything. I mean, the Captain America Black Panther game, 1943, Hail Hydra, or whatever. It looks impressive, but I mean, you're incrementals now, right? It's not big jumps anymore. It's like very
Right,
small
you
little
are-
increments of stuff.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Because the chips, we can only put so many chips on a person. All the little the micron little chips. How many you get per pinhead? Like, so until we start doing quantum stuff, or until cloud gaming does something excellent, or till something pops, right? Something's gonna pop. When something pops, and then the graphics will go. Like the first thing I think will happen when the graphics actually take a turn, right? And there's gonna be a jump. Will be VR stuff.
Yeah.
Like that'll be like the first thing that happens, is because they want VR.
Dave
But
Langer
we'll
says
see.
gameplay and AI leaps is what we see over graphics now. Yeah, you also said earlier, Dave, announce WoW for console. I've been saying that for a long time. I have a video like 7-8 months ago talking about how WoW comes to console. There is a story.
They'll wait for a lull and then drop that.
Well, there is a story, okay, of people playing World of Warcraft on NVIDIA GeForce Now with a bad hotel Wi-Fi has me convinced that's a dark magic that Xbox can keep up, right? So it's talking about how they're playing World of Warcraft through game, through Xbox, through GeForce Now, but they also are playing on their console. People have been able to play World of Warcraft on console. They go to their Edge browser. They're part of GeForce Now, and then you can play World of Warcraft through. And they say it's pretty damn good. Now, I'd be interested. Obviously, I still think it's going to happen. I don't know if they announce it this show, but I still believe World of Warcraft will come to Game Pass. They'll market it in. I think some of the mic drop moments has to do with like the Activision Blizzard titles that are away, like Ultimate Alliance, Transformers, all those type of stuff, as they maybe announce those coming to Game Pass. Again, those are licensing things that might be under, but I think that would be a mic drop moment for at least Xbox players, knowing that they have Game Pass, with maybe that coming along. Another mic drop moment might be World of Warcraft coming and saying that you could play it on console, or even if it's just Xbox Game Pass PC, like Ultimate PC World of Warcraft, it'll be part of that now. I can see that as well.
They'll save that before the price increase.
Well, that would be the reason they increase the price. Yeah, it's not going to be because of Call of Duty. It's going to be because more value comes to Game Pass,
right,
with a bunch of stuff, not just one thing. Jason says, make it modern Fallout style would be perfect. Here's the thing, Jason, when you're saying that they remake the modern Fallout style, I get what you're saying. There's modders out there right now making it into the Fallout 3 engine, Fallout 4 engine for Fallout 1 and 2. What I'm saying is I don't think Xbox or Bethesda has the right to touch Fallout 1 and Fallout 2. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm saying sort of like when Lucas sold it to Star Wars or Disney can't make, touch, or anything, I'm assuming until he's dead, okay, that they can't touch anything in the original trilogy. Okay, they can't touch it. Hence why they're making everything around about bringing those characters in, but they're not allowed to touch those characters or that original story. Otherwise, Disney would have remade them already. Okay.
Oh, they would destroy them already.
Yeah. So I think that's what I'm saying. I don't know if Bethesda is allowed to touch what Fallout 1 and Fallout 2, hence why they changed the story so much, and why there's people upset about what type of lore they changed from the original Fallout series to what Bethesda took over and made into the Fallout series. That's all I'm saying. Fallout 1 and 2 was made by Black Isle Studios, as Microsoft owned them. Black Isle Studio converted, and they got bought out, and Bethesda, they like merged and turned into ZeniMax or whatever it was, right? So the problem is, again, I'm just speaking out of my ass. I don't know if it's true. It's just weird to me that they made Fallout 3. They changed the lore. They changed the story of the stuff. They made Fallout 4. They never went back and made 1 and 2. And I'm thinking it's because they can't. And this is why when they bought it, they kind of started changing the story. Hence why the Power Armor and the Brotherhood of Steel and all this other stuff is kind of weird from the original 2 to what Bethesda made for Fallout 3 and Fallout 4. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, I could be wrong, but does it them re-releasing them in a mini nuke collection not mean they own it? They own it, but they're listen. They just can't do anything with. They can re-release it. They could do that stuff, but they're just not allowed to touch it. Meaning, don't change it, can't do anything with it. You see what I'm saying? They own it. They could sell it. They could put the mini nuke collection like they did out, where you can own and buy and play the original Fallout 1 and Fallout 2. They're just not allowed to change Fallout 1 and Fallout 2 is what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. They have the right to sell it.
Well, for those of you guys that are looking for the remake of Fallout 1 and Fallout 2, you guys do know that when the trying to remember the name of the company, but I think it's on Game Pass still. There's Wasteland 2 and Wasteland 3, which is basically the same isometric thing as like what Fallout 1 and Fallout 1 and Walnut 2 is. And those games you could play on Game Pass, and that's all post-apocalyptic too. And it's also the same kind of thing where it's turn-based, right? You walk around, explore, but when you go into combat, it's turn-based. That's what Fallout 1 and 2 was.
Right.
So if you guys like that kind of thing, then go on Game Pass and look up Wasteland 2 and Wasteland 3. Those are fantastic games. That's the actual, that game is the actual precursor to why Fallout was made. The original Wasteland game that came out like 84 or 85. I don't think I have the book anymore. I have it somewhere around here. Like it was like the same thing as Ultima 4 and Ultima 5 was done the same kind of way, right? Like that was the precursor to Fallout 1 and 2. So like if you like those games, you should try Wasteland 2, Wasteland 3 for sure.
Well, speaking of Fallout, this is one of the stories we actually had. All right, Fallout just came to one of Nintendo's best systems, and it's not the Switch. Okay, want to play Fallout on one of Nintendo's best handhelds? We've got good news for you. Fallout 1, original Fallout RPG made into Interplay Entertainment in 1997, is only officially playable on PC through Steam or GOG. However, a talented community member has ported the game to Nintendo's discontinued 3DS handheld with an impressive modding project, right? I'm telling you, man, the modders always do shit like this. So Fallout 1 and 2 are also playable on the iOS and Android devices thanks to a development of special fan-created community edition versions of the games. You'll find links to these ports as well as relevant information for what you'll need in proper installations in the next text below. If you want to see this is in our Discord. So if you're part of our Discord, you can go. Or if you want, you can just go to windowscentral.gaming and they talk about it. So if you want to play those games, you can play them. There you go on the Nintendo 3DS. Couple stories, Sarge. We're at the end of this. We're at the end here. IKEA. This is a weird story. IKEA will pay people $13.15 an hour to serve meatballs at its virtual Roblox store. Okay, so future furniture store IKEA will pay people $13.15. Okay, per hour to work in a virtual store in opening inside Roblox. The coworker game, as it's called, it lets players experience working in IKEA's virtual universe. And the company said fans will be able to live their home furnishing dreams to get paid for it, with a limited number of paid roles available by IKEA. Continued applications run to June 16th, with the game itself launching on June 24th. The immersive experience gives players the opportunity to experience IKEA's unique approach to careers, with non-linear career journeys are also lateral moves across the departments of commonplace. IKEA says it's IKEA's first foray into mainstream gaming. So there you go. There is paid shifts offered for 10 successful applications. So 10 people will get paid a full-time job to serve virtual meatballs in a virtual IKEA store. Interesting.
I mean, that just sounds bizarre.
Does it though? Remember,
it is.
No, remember,
it is bizarre.
I used to play Second Life.
I get the whole Second Life thing.
And within Second Life, there was actual banks and car companies, and people got paid real money to work jobs in a virtual world.
Got it.
That's 20 years ago. That's 20 years ago.
The question was, hang on, Dave Langer. I think Wasteland was made by some of the Fallout 1 and 2 creators. According to what I'm looking up, it says Wasteland was developed by Interplay Productions, which later developed the Fallout series. The game was published by Electronic Arts. So, like, you have a whole mess of people back then. So I'm assuming some of the guys who made Wasteland went over to make the Fallout series. Now, I don't know about all of them, but, like, I know some of them did, for sure.
It's funny that you say that. You said Dave Langer says how long before they do that with sex workers? It's already there.
We're already there.
It's been there for 20 years. Again, Second Life. Second Life. There's a whole underground world in Second Life.
Now, Robert asked me something about. Hang on. Do I prefer the older XCOMs versus Enemy Unknown? Now, hang on. Was Enemy Unknown the first XCOM to be on console? Was that the original one? Because the one I think about is that one, I think. Because the Enemy Unknown was the one that was on PC, and that was the one where they were all like underwater. Right? You weren't fighting guys like on land really. It was mostly they were hiding under the oceans, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, right. Yeah, there was, because that's the one I originally played. I played the original XCOM on PC, then I played the Enemy Unknown, which was the underwater version. No, there was underwater one. The enemy, hang on, I gotta look it up. I think Enemy Unknown was the first one on console. I think. Hey, Enemy Unknown.
All right, I got two more stories. One is, remember that handheld device, Sarge? It was called Playdate. It looked like a Game Boy, but it had that little crank on it. Here, let me get a picture for you, so you remember what it is. It was called Playdate. Okay, and the image of this is, so it's this thing. Let me open up in a new tab. Okay, so this was Playdate. Okay, this was a little Game Boy device, hang crank little device. We talked about it years ago. Okay, it was like a Kickstarter thing at the beginning, and then it became successful, and it was like a little device. Okay, well, a weird story we have for Playdate is that you had one job, FedEx, $400,000 worth of stolen Playdate consoles reappear at a random restaurant. Okay, it says so the company took to Twitter, or I'm sorry, it lived up to its name. It's recounted a strange story about $400,000 worth of product turning up outside a random restaurant, still in the boxes mostly, and completely abandoned. And there's even photos. And as you can see, the photo, that's the actual photo. Okay, the actual photo of all the stuff just sitting outside of a restaurant in the boxes. There's a couple of other boxes off to the side there.
I'm confused. What?
Okay.
What? I don't understand.
So hold on, there's more. The company took to Twitter to explain everything. He says, "Did you hear the story about our $400,000 worth of Playdates were misdelivered by FedEx to a construction site near our warehouse?" Okay, so FedEx, there's a lawsuit going to happen here. Okay, so FedEx dropped off the packages at a construction site near the warehouse, but not at their warehouse. Okay. From there, someone just stole them, okay, from the construction site, okay, and the culprit decided that the hole wasn't either not desirable enough or too big of a heist and dumped them outside a random restaurant down the street close to the company's fulfillment warehouse, okay? You can actually, and that's the picture that you see up front. Okay, it says Playdate started its life crowdfunded console and a niche audience, but after selling 50,000 units after release last year, it improved a pretty valuable venture. And after initial success, Panic bumped the price to Playdates to $199. Okay, which means it sits around the same price point as a Nintendo Switch. Now, the price point does make it a valuable piece of tech, but it's also still very specialized piece of hardware that's also going to sell to a particular audience. Unfortunately, not everything was returned. So, there are still no boxes were open, no Playdate systems were missing or sold, and Playdate replied to one of the comments also seems that pretty well likely that it seems a few consoles were fenced, or maybe the thieves just liked the idea of the crank or didn't like the idea of the crank. This is just weird, man. Their whole $400,000 worth of consoles just got delivered to the wrong place, then got stolen from that place, and then got delivered down to a restaurant just down the street from where they stole the thing, but also down the warehouse where they were supposed to get delivered to.
I mean, but why would you just fence them? Why wouldn't you just sell them online for a cheap price and get rid of them? Like, what if you stole them?
That's a lot. That's $400,000 worth of stuff, right?
Well, how much was the unit selling for?
$199.
So $199. So if I sold them for $100.
Yeah, but
right?
the problem is, obviously, it went missing. Oh, that's another part. They never. It says, okay. Where does it say? Unfortunately, it says the web crime. Most of the stock seems intact and saleable. Playdate even confirmed that the inventory hasn't been written off yet and never filled an insurance claim. They didn't even fill out an insurance claim for this that went missing, right? It doesn't say in the story, though, how long it was gone for. $400,000 worth of product, and they didn't report it.
There's so many questions.
I have so many questions.
It doesn't make any sense. That makes no sense. No insurance form filled out. Nobody said anything. Nothing.
They said, we're not even sure our insurance would cover this, is what it says in the article. It seems a little odd, doesn't it? Right? Krebsy, who signed for the $400,000? You have to sign for FedEx, don't you?
If someone has to sign, you don't just drop off $400,000 for the shirt.
So would a construction worker be like, yeah, take it. Yeah, right, we'll get it to the guys. Don't worry about it.
Like what, he felt like he was delivering screws to the work site. Like, I don't understand, what was FedEx delivering to the construction site?
I don't know. Oh, Jones. Well, you speaking of that, I saw a news story that people are stealing fire hydrants because of the aluminum and the metal in the thing, and they're stealing fire hydrants and then melting them down. Like, we have problems. We have problems, right? Yeah,
something similar to what he's talking about. There are towns, I won't say which kind of states, we could just assume, but there are states where people don't get arrested for crimes anymore. So what they're doing is they're stealing the wires out of traffic lights.
Yeah,
because they're melting down the copper, just like he's
transformers.
Talking about.
Yeah, lights.
Right. So they replaced the wiring and the light 6 times inside of a month. And so the city decided, instead of replacing the wires, they would just get rid of the traffic light and replace it with a stop sign. Like, that was their answer. That was the answer to the problem. Instead of finding out who's stealing the copper, they would just take the slide away. We're not going to replace it anymore. And they put a stop sign in place of the traffic lights. So what was an intersection that had traffic lights is now a 4-way stop.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. Here's the other crazy one I heard.
Is it California? Is it California?
This one's definitely California. You ready? Right? So many people have bought electric cars in California.
Oh, yeah. I know this one. Yeah,
right?
Go ahead.
Right. So many people have bought electric cars in California that you understand that the gas in California is what pays for the roads because of the gas tax.
Yeah, and it's going up. It's like $7 because yeah.
But now because so many people drive electric cars, they're not paying for the gas. So
correct.
They're short for the budget for the road fixing.
So now
they're charging. Ready for this?
Yep.
They're charging people who drive electric cars 30 cents a mile.
Yep.
To make for the difference. So now basically you're driving your own cab that you're paying for. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you people?
It's a clown world, dude. It's
straight up clown world, bro.
Yeah. People they're forcing you to get electric cars, and then gas, because no one's paying for gas anymore. They have to now charge you 30 cents a mile.
A mile?
Yeah. What the hell is your Uber bill? If you get something and they have to deliver an electric car, and then when they deliver it to you, they're like, I drove 15 miles to get here, so that you're gonna have to pay for that, and we're gonna charge you an additional 20% on top of that, and then on top of that, 75%. Like, what are we talking about here?
What's an average? Let's say 15 miles, right? Let's say 15 miles.
Yeah, it takes 22 miles to get to Disney.
Right, so I'll just say 30 miles a day. We'll be conservative. We'll be conservative, right? 30 cents a mile. Right, that's $9 a day. 5, 10, 20, 5 to 20 times 20. Right, so it costs you $180 just to drive to work a month.
Right, you're paying tolls and you're not even paying on a toll road.
$2,100 a year for me to drive my car to go to work.
Amazing.
Clown world.
Because you're trying to save the environment. Yep.
Yeah, definitely trying to save the environment.
And the last story I want to talk about, Sarge, it's a short one. Okay. So I read this article earlier this week. Gamers are getting concerned. Okay. Gamers are getting concerned about leaving their libraries when they die. Okay. So
that's a good one. Go ahead.
So what happens is Xbox, Sony, Nintendo, Steam, they all have the same policy. If you die, you can't transfer your account or anything over to your next to kin or anything like that.
The hell you can't.
Okay. So I was like,
the hell you can't.
I was like, well, just write your password down.
That's correct.
That's all you got to do, right? Until they have some sort of thing in place where they.
What does Xbox and Steam supposed to get a death certificate when a gamer dies? They get a death certificate. Like what are we talking about?
So it says here. It says recently a debate was struck up online when Steam user took to the internet or interest in what happens to the library when they pass away. Okay, it says the topic was also picked up with Valve, and who subsequently confirmed that nothing happens. They can't pass the ownership. They can't pass the ownership of your account to someone else or merge it without someone else's library if you die. So it can't be transferred via a will. Now gamers are getting increasingly concerned about what happens to the game's libraries once they die.
They're not concerned.
Okay,
you're dead. You're dead. You're not concerned.
Well, correct.
No one's concerned when you're dead.
Well, no, they're concerned now.
You're upset.
Right.
You're upset that you might not be able to hand your games over.
Yeah,
to
you're upset now that you don't what you can do. Right. So it says in recent reports published by Respawn, the team of GOG, also competing storefront to Steam, was also approached about this topic, and they also squatted asking that it would happen to their library, and they suffered from ultimately passing. GOG was also more forthcoming. It said, in general, GOG account and GOG content is not transferable. However, if you can obtain the copy of the court order that specifically entitles someone to your GOG personal account, we'll do our best to make it happen, right? So at least GOG's out there saying, yeah, if you do a court order, just write your password on a fucking piece of paper, right? And say, this is my login. That's all they have to do, right? So it's just weird because obviously, unless you have a monthly fee, like your Game Pass, you would have to be on a credit card that's being paid for. But
my account's to the grave.
Right. So it says also RF also discovered that Epic Games won't transfer your account. So none of these guys, none of them will transfer your account. But yeah, Xbox doesn't do the same thing. Nobody does anything. GOG is the only one that says, hey, if you show us a court order, we'll do the best we can.
But why do you need a court order? What are you guys talking about?
I just think it's funny because people are worried about. They're not worried that they're like, oh, I own the game now. I own the game. But now they're worried that they don't own the game and they can't give it to somebody when they die, right? Don't worry. Your son or daughter is not going to worry about your digital game collection when you're dead because they won't even remember. Like your backlog of games that are not being played right now is just going to go to the wayside. Okay, what's the difference, Sarge? If I have a stack of games in my house and I die, and then my son or daughter or whatever comes to my house and goes, "Oh, great, what am I going to do with these games?" Garage sale.
Garage sale, you make money. Yeah, you tell them.
Yeah, that's it. So I don't know. I thought it was funny. Like, I don't know. What are you going to do? I just give my son, joking the other day, I was like, on my deathbed, I'm like, son, come here, come closer. Okay, it's 2, 4, 6, 8. It'd be like, no, like it's like 54,000 games he can't play. What's he gonna do?
I don't know the password.
Quick, stat, get him in here, get him back alive. I need to know the password.
Then you're gonna get some kind of hacker to how to hack your account to find the password for all your games.
Yep. Yeah,
it gets real complicated.
It's gonna get really complicated. Right, and then someone's going to go on the black market and sell someone's games that they're dead, and then someone's going to make a report going, someone stole my dad's games on the black market, and nobody can do anything for me.
These are not real. This is first world problems all the way, bro. Yeah. This is not even a concern. It's just seriously. Like, I mean, you're already paying for stuff that you don't own, and you're worried about who you're going to leave the stuff that you don't own to someone else. Like it makes no sense at all. It makes zero sense. Like, I don't care that I own it. I'm having fun, damn it. What? I can't leave it to anybody. Now I'm mad. What? What?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
That makes no sense at all.
Yeah. Well, done. You can take all your digital collection and put it in your Tesla and then pay 30 miles to get it nowhere. Reporters just make shit up now. That's not a made up thing. That's an actual thing. People are upset that they can't take their life with them, right? I personally don't give a shit. Here, look, if I lose this, my son can't get into anything. Right? If he get this, he can get into everything. Done.
The red book of death.
Right? It's my whole life of passwords and everything in one red book, and I have a backup. I have a backup if I lose this one. Okay.
But it's digital.
No, I actually had a digital. I had a digital password thing on my phone, and the company went out of business, and I was locked out of all my accounts because I couldn't get to the password book in my phone.
So we had to reach down deep into the technology world and pull out the old pen and paper.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. I said, "Fuck you! I'm going to pen and paper. You can't take this away from me, right?" I'm gonna die like this. Right? This is all the passwords of my Steam library.
Everybody has lost their minds, dude. We have almost achieved pinnacle clown world.
Yeah, normal people not upset. You're absolutely right about that, Lurker. Dad didn't leave his V-Buck balance with me. Yeah, selfless jerk. Yeah, taking all my V-Bucks with me and all the cosmetics I ever bought for every game. It's coming with me. No one can take my consoles. It's so ridiculous. All right. That's going to do it for Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories in the past week, and we rant along the way. Episode 399 is in the can. We do appreciate you. If you'd like to listen, watch after the fact, you can come to YouTube right here on this channel, 30NSG. You can also go to YouTube Music and listen to the podcast there. You can also go to iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Anchor.fm to listen to all the past broadcasts as well. If you like what we do here, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. We are doing a stream tomorrow evening for the Summer Game Fest. It's just going to be me, but if anybody wants to join me, come on by. We're going to watch the live show, and we're going to talk about the games and whatnot, hanging out like you're in my living room. We're just going to talk shit about the games that are out, what we're happy and what we don't like, and we're doing that all weekend. All weekend, I'm here Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're going to watch all the big shows. So come on by. Make sure you have those notifications so you know when I go live. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.
Game on, guys.
They're two brothers and gamers that have been playing games since the early 1980s. Combined, they have over 65 years experience. Join them each week as they discuss and rant about gaming and entertainment news. This is Generation X Gaming.